It is a picture-perfect day in Lincoln for football and sellout number 343 in a row, a streak that dates all the way back to 1962. Today from Memorial Stadium, the 1-2 Nebraska Cornhuskers with one last out-of-conference matchup as they host the 2-1 Southern Mississippi Golden Eagles out of Conference USA. Welcome to Lincoln. I'm Eamon McEnany, happy to be joined by the former Notre Dame standout linebacker, Rocky Boyman. A beautiful day here in Lincoln, Rocky, but you know what? Not only are the fans here in Lincoln not used to seeing their Cornhuskers 1-2 to start the season, they're also not used to seeing Nebraska lose on the final play of the game.
Yeah, it certainly is uncharted waters here for Nebraska fans. The last time this program started off a season 1-2, Ronald Reagan was in the White House, and you mentioned their two losses have essentially come on the last play of the game. But look, we talked to head coach Mike Riley yesterday. He likes the way the direction this program is going, likes what they're building here in Lincoln.
And he also likes his quarterback, Tommy Armstrong Jr.
And that's the big question here in Lincoln is, can this dual threat running style quarterback fit well into this Mike Riley pro passing system? It's only 3 games in. It's not perfect, Eamon, but I love the dynamic that Tommy Armstrong brings with both his legs and his competitiveness.
And we are ready to kick. Nebraska, of course, in the red jerseys with the white pants. Southern Miss with the white jerseys and the black pants. Southern Miss won the toss, and when you've scored 108 points in your last 2 games, you might as well start with the ball first. So Ito Smith back to receive. Drew Brown ready to start things off, and we are underway from Lincoln. Smith makes the grab, but number 25 will take a knee, and they'll take the ball out to the 25. So as we mentioned, Southern Miss has had no problem scoring points so far with Nick Mullins running the show.
No, they haven't, and Nick Mullins has done a really, really good job. He's not a quarterback that's going to wow you with his arm strength or wow you with his running ability, but he fits well into this offense and is a great leader leading this Golden Eagle offense.
Making his 20th career start. Last week, threw for 333 yards and 4 touchdowns in the win over Texas State. This is an offense that has been able to put up big plays against a depleted defense that has been susceptible to the big play. Jalen Richard and Davis in the backfield with Mullins. They swing it out to Richard, and this is going to be a loss. Chris Weber, the sophomore out of Omaha, came up to snuff that out for a tackle for a loss. Byerson Cockrell as well in on the tackle. So it's a loss of 2, setting up 2nd and 12. Now Smith and Richard in the backfield with Mullins. It's a handoff up the middle. Maybe back to the original line of scrimmage by Richard. But Rocky, we talked about it, not 100% full strength, this Nebraska defense.
Not full strength, but they're going to have a hard time rushing into the teeth of this Nebraska defense. They play a cover 4. They essentially have 9 guys in the box at all times. So those short passing routes and those runs we saw to start off the game are going to be tough sledding for Southern Miss.
Vincent Valentine, the defensive tackle, out with a high ankle sprain. Michael Rose-Ivy, the linebacker, out as well. And it doesn't look like Josh Banderas is out there. So now 3rd and long for Mullins and the Eagles. Richard can't handle it. Incomplete. Southern Miss is going to have to punt.
When, as I mentioned, Eamon, these short passing routes are going to be hard to get going against Nebraska. You have so many guys up toward the front of the line of scrimmage. And I know they want to get their wide receivers in sync, but at some point they're going to have to open up this defense up with some vertical passing.
Tyler Sarrazin out to punt. Jordan Westerkamp back to receive, along with Stanley Morgan Jr. The kicking game of Southern Miss is a concern for Mike Riley this weekend. Rugby style, low kick. But it takes a Golden Eagle roll. And Southern Miss downs it at the Nebraska 29. 46-yard punt, no return. So Tommy Armstrong Jr. was tremendous in the 4th quarter a week ago.
And that's where he's so good, Eamon, is when the game is at its biggest moments. In the 4th quarter last week, as 3 touchdown passes, also converted 2 2-point conversions. Like to see his accuracy increase a little bit. So far on the season, just 56%. In this offense, you've got to complete lots of passes.
He was Very impressive at making plays. He's keeping them alive and making them on his own. But now 1st and 10 from the 29. Play fake. And it's caught by Westerkamp for a 1st down out at the 44.
And that's his favorite target, Eamon. Jordan Westerkamp. It's his roommate. They've been roommates since freshman year. And I think Armstrong is best when he gets outside the pocket. He gets a full view of the field and really throws well on the run.
16 yards per catch in his career. That one goes for 14. Now under center. This is Terrell Newby. Across the 45 for a short gain.
And this is the running game. This is what Nebraska, Cornhusker Nation, really wants to see get going a little bit. Kind of a running back by committee approach early in the year, but I think they've settled on Terrell Newby as the main back in this offense.
He had 82 yards on 14 carries in the overtime loss against the Hurricanes. He's to Armstrong's right. They swing it out to Westerkamp, who makes the grab and gets a block. Nice move for the 1st down. Ball's loose, but it goes out of bounds. Elijah Parker with the tackle popped the ball loose, but luckily for the Cornhuskers, it scored it out of bounds.
And that's the thing, when a wide receiver wants to gain those extra yards, sometimes they get scooting and moving to side to side. You got to make sure you hold on to the football. And luckily for Westerkamp and Nebraska, the ball goes out of bounds.
So he picks up 8 for the 1st down, now in Golden Eagle territory at the 45. Twins to the right. Newby in the backfield. Here's Newby on the stretch play, has an alley. Inside the 40, inside the 35. Dropped at the Golden Eagle 33, a 1st down for Nebraska. 13 yards on the play.
And I'll tell you what, Eamon, it's such a nice sight to see is this offensive line for Nebraska really pushing some bodies off the line of scrimmage. Haven't seen it as much this year, certainly not as much as they're used to here in Lincoln. That offensive line's got to get going. They got to get a little mean streak going to them. Nice way to start the game.
1st and 10 from the Southern Miss 32. Janovich, the fullback, in there. And they keep it on the ground. Newby heads upfield, still on his feet inside the 20. Pushed out of bounds at the 15. Dylan Bradley on the play for Southern Miss, but not after another productive run by Terrell Newby. 19 yards on the play.
And again, that right side of that offensive line, their right tackle, number 68, Nick Gates, pushing his guy 3, 4, 5 yards back into the second level there. And then Newby with a great vision, picking up some nice yards.
5 plays on this drive, 4 of them, and they have 4 1st downs. So now out of the shotgun with Newby. Looking to throw. They swing it out to Westerkamp again. Great block downfield. Gets a 1st down, still on his feet. Down at the 1, it looks like. No touchdown signal. Actually, it looks like they're stepped out at the 4. So it's 1st and goal from the 4 after an 11-yard pickup.
Picked up a nice block by Stanley Morgan. Look at that, pushing the corner back. Westerkamp just steps out of bounds about the 4-yard line.
Stanley Morgan, one of those true freshmen, seeing plenty of time here. So now 1st and goal from the 4. Newby loses his footing. So a mix-up there on the handoff cost Nebraska a yard or 2.
And there's some nice penetration there by the defensive end for Southern Miss, 94, Dylan Bradley. He's a disruptor alongside the other defensive end, Darian Yancey, number 22. Those speed rushers off the edge are really concerning to Mike Riley.
2nd and goal from the 6. Westerkamp goes out wide to the right in the slot in the stack formation with Brandon Riley behind him. Now Riley in motion. Armstrong on the rollout. Looking for Westerkamp, wide open. Touchdown, Nebraska. Looked like some miscommunication in the backfield, so maybe Armstrong made something out of nothing again, but Westerkamp has a touchdown catch in 5 straight games.
Yeah, but it's the rapport between Armstrong and Jordan Westerkamp. They've been together for a long time. They're always on the same page. He knows where Westerkamp's going to be, and Nebraska gets on the board early.
So a very impressive opening drive for the Cornhuskers. Drew Brown on for the extra point. And it's good. So the Cornhuskers go 71 yards on 8 plays, and Westerkamp does it again. His 5th straight with a touchdown catch. The Cornhuskers lead 7-0 early. Back here at Memorial Stadium, an impressive drive by the Nebraska offense. Rocky, 8 plays, 4 on the ground, 4 in the air.
It was nice balance, and the biggest thing, that offensive line. You hear whispers around Nebraska country. When's this offensive line going to start dominating people? And I thought they really did that series, especially the right side of that line. Finishing blocks, getting to the second level. Great news here for Nebraska fans.
Brown to kick, Smith and Michael back to receive. And Smith takes it out. And he makes a good decision. He gets out to the 27. Knocked out of bounds by Chris Jones. So the Golden Eagles went 3 and out on the opening drive, Rocky, and now they try to get something going here against this banged-up Nebraska defense.
It looked like early, like a lot of offenses do. They want to just try to get some nice high-percentage passes to the receivers, but Nebraska sniffed them out, and then the receiver dropped one of them. At some point, as I said earlier, this offense has got to stretch that field. Remember, Nebraska's having trouble covering people in the secondary. We've seen it all year long. At some point, they're going to test those defensive backs for Nebraska.
Nebraska's allowed 11 passing plays of 30 yards or more already in 3 games. Now out of the pistol. It's Richard. Squirts across the 30.
And Eamon, you talked about it. Vincent Valentine, their big defensive tackle, not in the game. It's going to be Kevin Williams, Malik Collins carrying the load.
Nebraska offsides.
And look, penalties were an issue last week. Nebraska had 12 of them. Mike Riley talked about cleaning up the penalties, the ones that happen before and after the whistle. You're playing hard, you're going to get a holding call here and there, but the procedural penalties, the offsides, the substitution, and the unsportsmanlike penalties got to go away.
So that makes it 1st and 5 from the 33. And they go back to Richard. Nothing doing. Penetration by the Cornhuskers blows that play up.
And that was Malik Collins, number 7. I think he's an NFL prospect. Nice job pushing back the right side of that Southern Miss offensive line. I think Malik Collins may be the best overall player on this roster. Kind of Ndamukong Suh light, if you will, but he makes a lot of plays in that front.
He's getting a little antsy. He wants a sack. He hasn't had a play in the backfield in the passing game yet this year. Now Mullins looking to throw. Has a man open. Complete for a 1st down in Nebraska territory. That's Mike Thomas. And they needed to get him on the field. The senior out of Chicago has been banged up with an ankle injury.
Yeah, lots of time there for Mullins, and then Jamal Turner, the defensive back. They've been a lot of rotation because of injuries, because the guys aren't playing well. Lots of flipping around there, and it's a hard time learning this new system. It's really good and easy for the defensive front, but the secondary does a lot of thinking. They need to adapt well.
From the Cornhusker 42, it's Richard. Ball's loose. Nebraska says it has it.
I think it was Malik Collins aiming that came in with a right arm and popped it out.
Cornhusker ball. Kevin Williams with the recovery.
Stretch play to the right. Malik Collins coming down the line. Looks like his right hand is the one that popped it out. Remember, Mark Banker, their defensive coordinator yesterday, said, look, this guy is so athletically gifted. He's just got to let the game come to him. Sometimes he's pressing too much, trying to get that first sack, but he started off this game with a bang.
And there you see 92 going in there for the recovery. So now The Cornhuskers looking to take advantage. Out of the gun, twins to the left. Now Riley in motion. Riley on the fly sweep. Good play there by Dylan Bradley to limit that gain.
Dylan Bradley, he's one of those guys, he's undersized. He'd probably be playing at an Auburn or an Alabama if he was a little bit taller, but he's just 6'1". But I love his leverage. He can get underneath those offensive tackles and make some nice plays.
Gain of 1, sets up 2nd and 9. Armstrong on the keeper, gets outside, gets the first down. Still on his feet, all the way down to the 30. Picasso Nelson with the touchdown-saving tackle, but there is the dual threat of number 4.
You know, and it doesn't exactly fit with what Mike Riley does historically, but he loves it. He told us yesterday, hey, it's a different thing. It's new, but it certainly works. And you got a guy with that kind of athletic ability and the vision he has, you got to let him do what he does. Armstrong's one of the best.
A 28-yard pickup, came in with over 1,200 yards on the ground in his career. So he adds to that total on that play. Now from the Southern Miss 30. 2 backs, Janovich and Newby. Here's Newby to the right. Heads up field. Hit it about the 26. 5-yard pickup. Denarius Antoine with the tackle, but it's 2nd and 5 for Mike Riley's Huskers.
Terrell Newby, there's no more Amir Abdullah, no more Rex Burkhead. He's now the guy.
Trying to become the 6th straight 1,000-yard rusher here in Nebraska. And he'll add to that total on this play as he bounces it to the outside. Still on his feet, now out of bounds, but he gets a first down. Let's see where they mark it. It will be a first down. So as you mentioned it, Amir Abdullah is the standard that he's trying to match this year, but they tend to know how to run the ball here in Lincoln.
Yeah, that's what they do around here. It's the offensive lines, the running backs. I've been on the receiving end of some bad days at the office aiming against Nebraska's offensive line.
That graphic doesn't go all the way back to when you played, Rocky.
Thank God it doesn't. I didn't want to tell anybody about that.
Newby averaging 7 yards a carry, 42 on 6 runs. 1st and 10 inside the red zone. Now off the play fake, looking to set up the screen. Not there. Now Armstrong keeping the play alive. Now he's going to create on his own. Upended at the 18. Now a Southern Miss player is hurt.
Timeout on the field for a Southern Miss injury.
And you hear these coaches talk, oh, we want the quarterback to stay in the pocket. That's a part of the system. Well, this seems to be working pretty good when you got a guy this athletic that make plays with his legs, pick up first downs. Love it.
So as they take a look at the injured player on the field, we'll take a break as well. Nebraska on the move with the lead. 5:59 to go in the first quarter. Nebraska knocking on the door once again. And Rocky, they have been efficient inside the red zone already this year.
You know, everyone wants to talk about, oh, our offense puts up 500, 600 yards of offense. It's meaningless to me. It's the critical situations in red zone is the biggest determining factor of if your offense is doing well. And Nebraska is one of the best in the country right now.
12 touchdowns, 1 field goal, 13 out of 14.
You know, and I think in today's world, it's 2015, the offensive numbers are not hard to come by. Everyone's going to get a lot of yards, but can you be efficient in the red zone? Can you get touchdowns and not field goals? That's what separates the good teams from the great teams.
You are such a grumpy former linebacker.
I'm not grumpy. I'm
just
saying it's easy to get anymore. I'm not impressed by that.
They let the linemen go downfield. We can't
it's hard to
grab
play
them
defense anymore. That's all I'm saying.
2nd and 9 from the Southern Miss 18. Newby in the backfield with Armstrong. Twins to the right. They swing it out to Newby, makes the nice one-handed grab. And then Southern Miss corrals him at the 14. So a 4-yard pickup after the nice catch. Elijah Parker with the tackle. So now the first third down of the game here for the Cornhuskers on 3rd and 5.
And this is a part of Newby's repertoire we haven't quite seen so far this year. But I'll tell you what, I think he's liking the fact that, again, this is not a running back by committee approach. I understand you want to rotate guys in and go with a hot hand, but at some point, lean on a guy. Let him get into the flow of the game. That's going to help him really start to put up some great yards. It's working for Newby.
First third down of the ball game for Armstrong in the Cornhusker offense. 3rd and 5. Westerkamp in motion. That's where Armstrong's looking, who makes the grab, but he is short of the first down. He went back to grab the ball, and that allowed Brian Anderson to make the tackle.
And one too many moves there for Westerkamp. He has a problem with that sometimes. I know he wants to make guys miss and all that, but he goes backwards. Maybe if he leans forward, maybe he can stretch that ball across the line.
So they'll send out Drew Brown. 3 of 5 on the season. This will be a 30-yard kick, it looks like. Make it 29 yards. Holder's the punter, Sam Foltz. Kick is up. And it's good. So the Cornhuskers get points off the turnover.
Timeout on the field.
Mike Riley's team up 10 on the visitors from Southern Miss. The Cornhuskers have had the ball twice. They have scored twice, and they lead Southern Mississippi 10-0, outgaining them 119-27. Tremendous atmosphere once again here at Lincoln for college football. Brown ready for his 3rd kickoff of the first quarter. Right after his 29-yard field goal has made it 10-0. Smith and Michael back to receive. This one will be returnable by Smith from the 7. Gets out to the 25, spins towards the 28. And a reminder, NFL Insiders and Sunday NFL Countdown. A new way to get coast-to-coast league coverage on Sunday morning. Start your day with the Insiders team for all of the latest headlines and breaking news. Then the Countdown crew goes inside the storylines as only they can. NFL Insiders and Sunday NFL Countdown. Meet the new NFL Sunday morning starting at 10 a.m. on ESPN and streaming live on Watch ESPN. And Rocky, do they believe in Andy Dalton and the Bengals in Cincinnati?
I'll tell you what, so far so good. They have a real opportunity to put Baltimore away. Let them start 0-3.
Now this
big game for the Bengals.
Southern Miss offense not used to sputtering. They scored 108 points in the last 2 games. Now they toss it out to Richard. Runs over the tackler. That was a bit of frustration after the fumble, as he barrels for a few more yards.
Nice job by Richard. Takes the pitch and he lowers the shoulder. The tackler did a good job coming up into the flat there, but he didn't expect to get the boom laid on him by number 30.
That's Nate Gary getting blown up, allowing Richard for a 9-yard gain. Now pressure on Mullins, and he throws it away. So now 3rd and 1 here for Southern Miss, and obviously, Rocky, very early, but still they need to get something going on offense.
Well, they certainly do. We talked about Nebraska's secondary has been a weak link so far this year. They're also banged up at the linebacker position. If I were Southern Miss, I'd try something in the middle of that field in the intermediate range. Try to see if those guys can play.
4 receivers, Richard in the backfield. Mullins to throw. Over the middle, man open. First down, Southern Miss as they go for the strip. But Casey Martin hangs on to it for an 8-yard pickup, but there is a flag.
There may be a pick. The offense calls it a rub route. The defense calls it a pick.
Let's see what the officials call it, right? That's most important. Our referee today, Tim O'Day.
Holding. Offense, number 66.
Okay.
10-yard penalty, 3rd down.
So that goes against Andrew Peterson. And it wipes out a first down for Coach Todd Monken's ball club. Penalties for both teams have been a problem, Rocky.
They have, and it's going to be tough for this Southern Miss offensive line. They got some big boys. We talked about Malik Collins, Kevin Williams, Freedom Akinmoladoon. Tough blocking here for Southern Miss.
As we mentioned, the penalties being an issue last week against Texas State. It was almost a joke how many penalties they got called for. But now 3rd and long. Mullins steps up in the pocket. Richard makes the grab. First down. What a play by Richard.
And
Gary with the tackle, but it's a 17-yard pickup.
And this is exactly where I thought they should go. The interior, middle part of that field. Lots of young linebackers. You number 5, Dedrick Young, just a freshman. I think Southern Miss feels like if they spread this field out, get those linebackers isolated one-on-one, they can really make some hay.
Now Ito Smith in the backfield, and he has, nope, Mullins pulls it away. They're on the slant. He could go. DJ Thompson still on his feet at the 10, tripped up. Josh Kalu with a touchdown saving tackle, but a huge pickup, 50 yards on the slant.
And Eamon, this has plagued in the Nebraska secondary all year. Missed tackles. You can't let a 5-yard route turn into a big play, and that's what we've seen all year. Right there, Chris Jones cannot secure the tackle.
So another play of 30 yards or more given up by this secondary. That's 12 on the season. And now the Golden Eagles, first and goal from the Nebraska 6. Mullins looking to his left with time. Over the middle, too high. Looking for Thompson.
So at number 83 for Southern Miss, Casey Martin, that's the go-to guy for Mullins. He's the team leader in receptions, a slot guy, breaks a bunch of tackles even for being a smaller guy. This area of the field, Eamon, is where Nick Mullins really likes to find Martin.
Right now it's Jordan Mitchell and Mike Thomas wide out to the left. Richard behind Mullins, now he moves to his left. The give to Richard up the middle, bounces off one tackler. A third, fourth, the fifth Cornhusker finally bring him down after no gain.
And right in this 6-7 yard range, this is where it's always so hard for the offense because there's not enough vertical field to really spread the defense out. It's a little too far out to run the ball. You hear offensive coordinators talk about that all the time. But again, Martin, Mike Thomas, big JUCO transfer wide receiver. Lots of weapons for Mullins.
Third and goal from the 6. 87,000 fans making noise, trying to become that 12th man here. 5 on the play clock, low snap. Mullins still doesn't have it, and he falls on it. So Cameron Tom, the center, didn't get the ball up in the air.
And that might have been an instance where this 87,000 strong Husker crowd helped out right there. Mullins goes up, he's trying to get the center to snap the ball. He doesn't, then as he's walking up, it goes on the ground.
So it's a loss of 10. So now Parker Schoenfield on to try to get Southern Miss on the board after it had first and goal from the 6. It's a 33-yarder. No good. So first and goal from the Nebraska 6. But Mike Riley's team shutout remains intact.
Yeah, it was a nice job there after letting out the big play. They did a good job inside the 10-yard line, keeping Southern Miss from the touchdown, forcing the field goal and the wide kick.
Frustration for Coach Munkin. They had the big play, but they come away empty. Again, the botched snap obviously made that kick tougher, still makeable at 33, but a loss of 10 on third and goal.
And you could tell Mullins wanted the center to snap the ball, and he wasn't doing it. And as he's walking up, the ball goes on the ground. That caused the discombobulation.
You're going to have to spell that one for me at halftime, Rocky.
I can't help you on that one, brother. Pulled that one out of nowhere.
So Nebraska has had no problem moving the ball on Southern Miss. And Newby behind Armstrong. Roll out all day. Finds Riley wide open at the 40. And again, Rocky, A good mixture here for the Nebraska offense.
It really is. It's been the balance. This time Armstrong again rolls outside the pocket and finds maybe his second favorite receiver, Brandon Riley, probably the fastest guy on this team. Gets separation, finds a window in this offense, comes out the catch.
22-yard pickup. So just like that, the Cornhuskers are on the move. Ball out to the Nebraska 42. Under center with two backs. Here's Newby bouncing it to the right, turns the corner. Shaking and baking out to about the 48. Kalen Reed puts him out of bounds. But a good pickup on 1st and 10. We'll give him 7.
Picked up a nice block by his tight end, Ethan Carter, on that play. Again, the right side of this line, offensive line, tight ends doing a good job securing their backs.
And that should do it for the first quarter here at Lincoln. As they'll switch ends.
That's the end of the first quarter.
All Nebraska so far. No hangover after the overtime loss in Miami. Tommy Armstrong Jr. and the offense clicking. They lead 10-0. Second quarter from Lincoln after this. We are ready for the second quarter here in Lincoln. Mike Riley's Cornhuskers with a 10-0 lead, and certainly raised some eyebrows when he made the move from Oregon State to Nebraska, but seems pretty comfortable here 3 games into his tenure.
I think so. I think Riley just likes the chance of the rebuild, likes starting new here and building something special back again here in Nebraska.
Janovich, the fullback, right up the gut. All the way down inside the 30. So Southern Miss caught off guard by the handoff to the fullback.
And Eamon, that's Janovich's first carry of the season. Really just does the dirty work. Lots of blocking, a great special teams player as well, but bam, quick hitter, belly play right up the middle. Janovich getting north-south. He's excited he got the football.
25-yard pickup. You like that average, 25 yards per carry, right? There you see the balance on display so far from the 27. Back to the ground game in Newby to the left. Heads up field, but this time Southern Miss is ready for him. Naim Mustafa with the tackle. The transfer from Miami. 2-yard pickup. What do the Golden Eagles have to do to slow down this offense?
Well, it's going to be tough. I mean, defensively, they don't do a ton. They're not that active. They play kind of a vanilla defense. I think at some point they're going to have to start attacking Nebraska, try to create some negative plays, try to get some interception opportunities.
Twins to the right. Riley, bottom of your screen to the left. Design quarterback run. All the way down to about the 21. 4-yard pickup. Looked like that one was going to go for more. And Mustafa again slowed it down.
In the spur linebacker, Elijah Parker, did a good job. Armstrong wanted to go to the outside. It wasn't there. So then secondly, just a good second nature play. Takes it right up the middle when it's not there.
Critical 3rd down here for Southern Miss to try to keep in this ball game. 3rd and 4 from the 21. Armstrong still has it. Westerkamp open. Tackled short of the mark again, though. Great open field tackle by Picasso Nelson. So now decision time here for Mike Riley. And he is not influenced by the crowd.
Looks like they're going to go
he
for
is.
it.
So he is going to go for it. Looking to drop the hammer here on Southern Miss in the second quarter. So they go to the old school I formation with Cross and Janovich. Now they change the look in the backfield. And they get the first down, barely. They gave it to Amani Cross, and he got just enough. We'll give him 2. Denarius Antoine came up, but the drive continues for Nebraska.
Amy, was this 2015 or 1995? That was an old school Nebraska running formation there. 2 backs in the backfield, bringing the big back Amani Cross at 240 pounds, and that's just enough for the first down.
Hey, Mike Riley told us yesterday he coached in Winnipeg. He knows about the importance of the ground game when it gets cold.
Don't be fooled, especially in this area of the country. You got to run the ball.
8th play of the drive. Back to Newby. Good job and a good hit setting the edge. Elijah Parker.
Somebody better start blocking Elijah Parker. He's making a lot of plays in the flat here.
There's an injured Southern Miss player.
I'm out on the field for a Southern Miss injury.
And that's not good news, Aim. This defense is already pretty banged up in the secondary. Deshaundrick Truly, Devontae Foster, both out. Their linebacker, Anthony Swain.
That's Draper Riley, the defensive lineman.
And that's one thing Todd Monken talked about is they're getting there in terms of the athleticism, but the depth isn't quite there yet.
We're going to step
I'm out on
aside.
the field for media.
Nebraska up 10-0. There you see the trainers taking a look at Draper Riley's right ankle. Nebraska leads 10-0 and back inside the red zone. And again, they've been efficient here already today.
Again, that's really been their strong suit. For as much as they've maybe, I won't say struggled, but they've struggled with some drop passes, especially last week. The running game is starting to get going. For all those concerns, they've been really solid in the red zone.
No drops yet today. Armstrong a perfect 8 for 8 for 71 yards and a touchdown. Now Cross in the backfield on 2nd and 10 from the Southern Miss 16. Stanley Morgan Jr., bottom of your screen to the left. Play fake, looking over the middle. Into the end zone, incomplete. Looking for Westerkamp, but good coverage by Southern Miss in the secondary sets up 3rd and 10.
And before that play, you mentioned number 8, the freshman Stanley Morgan. He's a guy they really, really like. Want to get him going. Danny Langsdorff, the offensive coordinator, talked about him yesterday. He's really starting to grow for being just such a young guy.
He goes out top of your screen to the right now. So off the first incompletion, 3rd and 10. Cross in the backfield, trips to the left as they send the tight end out wide, Seethan Carter. Looking for that freshman who goes up to make the grab. Well short of the first down, though. So Mike Riley went for it on 4th and 1. Here he's going to send out Brown and settle for the 3.
Yeah, I think they were hoping that Stanley Morgan would be able to make somebody miss there, but still secures the catch. That was the concern last week. Now setting up an easier field goal.
No relation to the former Pro Bowl wide receiver Stanley Morgan from the New England Patriots, but making an impact as a freshman out of New Orleans.
Yeah, he's the rising star. His role is going to continue to increase, especially without the Mornay Pearsonell for the next few weeks.
So now Drew Brown already has 1 field goal in the books. He hit from 29, this from 27. And it's a 2-touchdown lead for the Cornhuskers. So they can't punch it in for 6 for the 2nd straight drive, but they'll take points. They lead 13-0 at home. Certainly has been an interesting start of the season for Arkansas head coach Brett Bielema and the Hogs. People having no problem taking shots at Coach Bielema.
Cliff Kingsbury not pulling any punches last week after the win.
So Brown off his 2nd field goal of the game. Smith and Michael back again. And Smith will take another knee for a touchback and bring it out to the 25. Last time Rocky Southern Miss had the ball was another missed opportunity.
It was. His drive started off great. DJ Thompson catches the slant route for a nice 50-yard gain. Things are looking really, really good for Southern Miss, but after that, they just could not capitalize. They get the fumbled snap inside the red zone, and then the field goal comes, pushes it wide right. Southern Miss can't get on the board.
As much as you've been outplayed here, and it feels like all Nebraska, you look up at the scoreboard, 13-0. What's Coach Monken's message to the offense on this drive?
I think right now he just says, look, don't look at the scoreboard. Okay, we took some of their big shots early on. Let's settle down. We know we can create big plays against this defense. We've done it before. Let's put a few together now.
Ito Smith in the backfield to the left of Mullins. He gets it on the toss. Turns the corner. Pushed out of bounds by Byerson Cockrell.
In Nebraska, again, they run this cover 4 defense. It's similar to that Mark D'Antonio, Pat Narduzzi deal they run at Michigan State. Lots of people press up against the line of scrimmage. They're daring you to run the ball and daring you to throw the ball short.
Picks up 4 to make it 2nd and 6, and he stays out there. Off the play fake. Pressure coming off. They throw it back. Nice play reading that. Marcus Newby, the sophomore out of Washington, D.C., not fooled and limited that game.
Great job by Marcus Newby. Remember, Coach, yesterday, Mark Banker, the D coordinator, said, you know, last year mentally the game was a little bit too big for him, but now mentally he's in the groove. It was a great job of staying home by him on that play.
He was also a defensive end last year. So now 3rd and 6. Southern Miss really needs a drive to get going here. 1 of 3 on 3rd downs.
Got to find Casey Martin, 83. That's your best receiver.
Thompson in motion. Well-designed play to Smith for the 1st down. All the way out near midfield, driven to the ground. But that's why they call it execution. Everyone went to the left. He threw back to the right.
It was a great job because they set it up as if the ball was going to 83 Casey Martin. Then the back leaks out of the backfield at the last second. Misdirection. Everything, everybody look over here, and then we'll go back across your face. Nice game.
20-yard pickup. Now up the middle, Smith. Powers ahead into Nebraska territory. Smith had a huge game against Austin Peay. 135 yards on 10 carries, including a 75-yard touchdown run. And that 52-6 Golden Eagle win. So now he stays out there and they stack the receivers to both sides. Thompson in motion. This could be a throw. Oh, that was open. What a tremendous play. Chris Jones came up because they had a receiver wide open on what appeared to be a double throw, Rocky.
It was DJ Thompson they had streaking down the sideline, but credit Nebraska for sniffing that play out and getting there before it can develop. Watch the recognition and the explosion before the receiver can get the pass off to Thompson.
Chris Jones, the sophomore out of Jacksonville, Florida, read that play to set up 3rd and 13. So now they go to 2 running backs, Richard and Smith. Crowd again starting to make some noise here. Pressure up the middle. Mullins hit and dropped. Freedom Akinmoladun with the sack.
Freedom Akinmoladun came in as a tight end. He switched the defense end. He's making plays. Just gets skinny in between the guard and tackle. Powers drives that arm up through and gets to the quarterback.
Now there is a flag.
Illegal formation. More than 4 people in the backfield offense. That foul is declined. 4th down.
He now has 3 sacks on the season. He had a sack last week against Miami and a sack in the opener against BYU. And Coach Banker telling us yesterday he wants to learn. He's always asking questions and getting better.
Sometimes too many questions, according to Mark Banker. But look, he just said once this kid gets it and he understands how to play defense athletically, he's a very, very accomplished player. Once he settles in, man, the sky's the limit.
Saracen goes to that rugby style. But this does not take a Golden Eagle bounce. It goes right out of bounds, so Nebraska in pretty good shape. From the Nebraska 31. So Armstrong and the offense back out there looking to tack on the 13-point lead.
Nebraska starts off, they line their 2 defensive studs to the offensive right, Malik Collins and Akinmoladun. And Malik Collins does a good job of occupying both the blockers, and then Akinmoladun just gets skinny and just makes Norman Price, the right tackle, whiff all the way to the quarterback.
Again, as you mentioned, a tight end, converted tight end, learning the job on the fly. Comes up with the big sack. So now Nebraska, they've had great field position the whole game. Average starting yard line has been the Nebraska 31. In their 3 drives already, they've gone 189 yards. They have a touchdown and 2 field goals. So really looking to take command of this game. Now we're off the play fake with time. Drops it underneath to Janovich. Janovich inside Southern Miss territory, needs 1 more block. Andy Janovich, a big run, and now a huge completion.
I can see it already, Eamon. Andy Janovich for president. That's going to be the T-shirts around Nebraska. This guy didn't even touch the ball the first 3 games of the season. Now he's had 2 big plays so far. They fake the deep route. Janovich gets out of the backfield, and nice job running with the ball after the catch.
A 25-yard gain on the ground, now 53 yards. Gets a great block there from Lane Hovey. And again, inside the red zone. They go up the middle.
Janovich is the secret weapon right now.
It's been a very clean day at the offense for Tommy Armstrong Jr.
Naaman, I played with a guy with the Titans by the name of Steve McNair at quarterback, and Armstrong reminds me a lot of him because Armstrong extends plays. He doesn't want to just run at first sight. He extends the play, tries to find the receiver down the field to hit him.
Wildcat, they go to the reverse, and it's going to be a throw. No, he keeps it himself. They wanted to throw it to Armstrong, but Jamal Turner thinks better of it on the reverse. So Mike Riley's digging deep into the bag here.
Yeah, Armstrong is lining up seemingly everywhere, tries to get out into the passing route, but Dylan Bradley, the defensive end for Southern Miss, a good job of recognition there, just a little bit of trickeration.
So it started with Zigbo, then over to Turner.
Went deep into the playbook there.
No, Zigbo stays out there on 3rd and 5 from the 11. Armstrong in trouble, and he gets sacked. So Naeem Mustafa and Thigpen, Xavier Thigpen, the sophomore out of Mississippi, with a big play, a loss of 15.
And this is the next evolution of Tommy Armstrong. He's got to know this play is not there. Throw the ball away, live the fight another day. He wants to hang in there. And when these quarterbacks are so competitive, they want to make plays. That one there, he needs to know to get rid of the ball and not take the lost yardage.
So now Brown on for a 40-yarder for his 3rd field goal of the first half. And it's good. So more points for the Cornhuskers, but again, they settle, letting Southern Miss hang around here. And tonight, it's the Bruins and the Wildcats squaring off in a battle of Pac-12 unbeaten. Saturday Night Football presented by Wells Fargo. Number 9 UCLA against number 16 Arizona. Tonight at 8 on ABC and streaming live on Watch ESPN. Looks like Scooby Wright's going to give it a go against Josh Rosen. And what have been your impressions of the freshman quarterback for UCLA?
Well, I'm more impressed with Scooby Wright. Getting him back on the field last year, led the NCAA in tackles for loss. Butkus Award candidate. Looking forward to watching him get back on the field. He's special.
Never fails. I lead you to the offensive side of the ball.
I always
you bring it right back
brother.
to the linebackers.
That's right. I'll tell you what, you got to give Southern Miss a lot of credit. We've talked today this game about how good Nebraska is in the red zone, but that's 3 straight times Southern Miss's defense holding the Cornhuskers to field goals.
Now they just need the offense to get going. One big play, and they're right back in this game. This one will be returnable. Smith from the 2. Bobbles it a little bit. And he gets out to the 16. So good coverage by Nebraska. Nolan Graham with the tackle.
And I think for Southern Miss, they got to continue to attack the middle of the field, that low kind of hole zone there. Get those linebackers spread out. Get them out in space, because I think their wide receivers can really do some damage. They had the big play by DJ Thompson, the 50-yarder. Also a couple other big plays. Again, just right about 6, 8 yards right in front of the quarterback. That's where the open area has been.
So Ito Smith in the backfield as they start this drive from their own 15. He gets it. Maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage. Good penetration again. Marcus Newby making the play for Nebraska. Again, Michael Rose-Ivy out. Josh Banderas with the groin. They want to be careful with 52. Junior linebacker from right here in Lincoln. So not at full strength at the linebacker position at all. 2nd and 10.
Lots of area in that open middle part of the field, Eamon.
4 wide receivers. Here comes pressure off the edge. Mullins doesn't recognize it. He gets dropped. Josh Kalu with the sack. Nobody saw 10 in red flying into the backfield.
And he got a tremendous jump, Eamon. Came on, just timed it perfectly off the offense's right side, comes in for the sack, and Mullins hardly saw him.
Another Southern Miss player hurt. Looks like an offensive lineman. Rashad Hill, fifth-year senior out of Jacksonville.
The biggest key to any pass rusher, whether you're a cornerback, an end, is getting off the ball. Can you get that quick reaction time? That's more than half the battle.
Kalu had a key interception last week against Miami to help get that comeback going.
Yeah, he's certainly making plays as they figure out this secondary, and some guys are struggling. Guys are finding their way around this new Mark Banker defense. He's making some plays, though.
So Rashad Hill being helped off the field. You're down 16-0. You're playing in front of 87,000. It's 3rd and 18 from your own 7. You living to punt?
Yeah, you're trying to something safe, a screen or a draw, trying to pick up some yards, give your punter a little bit more room. And I think you'd be happy to punt the ball away if you're Todd Monken.
So a week after Richard went for 230 yards on the ground, right now Southern Miss has run the ball 12 times, and they picked up -6 yards. So now 2 backs on 3rd and 18. Nebraska showing pressure. They back off. Here's Richard. Well shy of the first down, but a safe play to give Saracen some room, a 12-yard pickup.
Good job by Nebraska, just tackling the guy. Again, in this defense, it's just so important, guys. Don't let 5-yard routes turn into 25, 35-yard routes. Tackle the guy when he's there. Know where your leverage and where your help is coming from. That was a good job by the defense.
Stop me if you've heard this before, but Nebraska should have good field position here. Saracen from the 5. They could really use a rugby-style bounce here. It's low. Westerkamp grabs it at the 35. Makes the first man miss. Down the sideline, popped hard. Looked like David Bertucci with the big hit. A 46-yard punt, a 17-yard return with a loud ending. But once again, Nebraska in pretty good shape, up 16-0. Nebraska up 16-0, taking over in Southern Miss territory, but Jordan Westerkamp not ready to go for the first play of this drive.
Yeah, he took quite a lick from Bertucci, but it was a good job by Andy Janovich of not blocking Bertucci in the back. He pulls up, and yes, Westerkamp takes a big hit, but it's probably better than setting your team back 15 yards. But you gotta love the pop here at Cornhusker Stadium.
So Nebraska outgaining Southern Miss 235 to 110. It's been good balance so far. They have 2 backs out there now, Janovich and Newby. And now Newby turns the corner. But again, a flag on the play. Another solid job by this Golden Eagle defense to stretch the play out. Brian Anderson with the tackle, along with Picasso Nelson.
And you talk about Southern Miss stretching these plays out. Those speedy defensive ends doing a good job.
10-yard penalty.
And there's a hold against Nebraska, against Nick Gates, the right tackle.
And he had the hold because number 22, Darian Yancey, was just giving him everything he could handle, stretching that play out.
So one of the few opportunities Nebraska's moved backwards here in the first half. Now from the Cornhusker 42. Armstrong all day. Looking deep over the middle, has Riley open. He beat Cornell Armstrong and went up and made the grab.
There's a one-man route. There's nothing really else going to that entire side of the field as Brandon Riley man-on-man versus Armstrong. And Riley does a good job getting inside, then playing the ball, finding high in the air.
49-yard pickup just like that. The Cornhuskers are in the red zone, but they moved early there.
Nebraska trying a little tempo here.
I think it might have been everyone was on the same page except the center.
False start. Offense, number 71. 5-yard penalty.
This is one of those things. We saw this last week. Substitution. Okay, it's a tempo. We're trying to get things going here a little bit and just not quite really in the groove of this Mike Riley offensive system yet.
So that'll make it 2nd and goal from the 14. You have to wonder here, even though it's only in the first half, a touchdown really could shut the door on the Golden Eagles as they have not been able to move the ball on offense. Now Armstrong's going to keep it. Gets to the outside, hurdles his man. Wow.
Wow.
I think you find a way to make your offense work with a talent like that.
Well, and that's essentially what Mike Riley said yesterday. Okay, it's not exactly according to Hoyle's rule of how my system goes, but this is exciting stuff. Hurling guys out there, running, creating plays. Lots of misdirection going. It's fun watching Armstrong.
Jumps over Denarius Antoine. That'll be on the highlight reels tonight.
Yes, sir.
He'll be a top 10 nominee. More importantly for Nebraska, 2nd and goal from the 5. Newby up the middle. Nothing doing on that play. So that'll set up 3rd and 5. And if you're Southern Miss, what are you on the lookout for on this play?
Well, I'll tell you what, again, I mean, the go-to guys down here, of course, are Westerkamp and Brandon Riley. But I think Southern Miss at some point has got to start attacking a little bit. You know, this laying back, playing this vanilla defense so far today didn't quite work it.
Riley and Westerkamp out to the left. Westerkamp into the slot. Riley bottom of your screen. Stanley Morgan to the right. That's where Armstrong's looking for the jump ball. Incomplete, no flags. Good coverage by Kalen Reed. So again, they have to settle for a field goal.
As tough as the day's been for Southern Miss, they've really shored up here in the red zone. Good coverage here on the wide receiver. Nowhere to go for Armstrong to throw the football.
So Drew Brown back out there. 4th field goal of the afternoon. He's made from 29, 27, and 40. This will be a chip shot of 22. And that's good. So they continue to tack on. And they lead 19-0. You know, Rocky, we came on to start the show talking about 2 losses on the last play of the game. And you're Mike Riley, you think you got win number 1 in the bag against BYU. And then here comes the Hail Mary.
Yeah, the Hail Mary pass. It didn't quite play it correctly as it's designed up. But just such a heartbreaking loss to have it come that way on the last play of the game. Everyone's talking about BYU. And Mike Riley and company were just sick after the game. They had that game won. And then the following week, of course, you get the last play of the game, the interception versus Miami. Armstrong rolls out trying to make a play, but unfortunately throws the interception. This can be kind of one of those seasons so far for Nebraska, but they've sure corrected some things here today and look pretty good.
What a tough afternoon, early evening that had to be for Tommy Armstrong Jr. You have one of the most incredible 4th quarters you've ever seen a Nebraska quarterback have. Leading that comeback, you get in overtime, and then it's like you try to win the whole game on one play, and you give Miami a field goal.
Well, and that's the thing. He'd made so many incredible plays on overtime. You could tell he wanted to put the team on his back there and be the guy to make the difference. Unfortunately, just happened to make a bad decision on that interception.
Smith takes another touchback. And from talking to coaches, it's still that sort of becoming more familiar and trusting the scheme.
Well, it really is, because this scheme is designed, it's a West Coast style of offense, and it's really predicated on timing and precision and hitting the open guy. That's what it's all about. And remember yesterday, Danny Langsdorff, the offensive coordinator, said Armstrong, the next part of his progression is when they, going from option number 1 to option number 2, not skipping 2 and going all the way to 4, going through that read and that progression the way it's supposed to go.
So after scoring 52 points, then 56 points, the Golden Eagles sitting on a goose egg right now with 1:34 left in the 2nd quarter. Mullins, wide receiver screen, nothing doing. Looking for Mike Thomas. Dedrick Young, the true freshman out of Arizona, all over that one.
And how about Dedrick Young, a rare black shirt before the season as a freshman. They got that black shirt tradition around here for those defensive players. Such an honor, and Dedrick Young to get one as a freshman. Doesn't happen that often, Eamon.
He and Aaron Williams, the 4th and 5th true freshmen first true freshman to start at Nebraska since World War II. Mullins has a man open. First down, Casey Martin. The guy Rocky's been looking for all afternoon makes a grab.
Yeah, he's the go-to guy, and I always say it in the critical moments, you know, think players, not plays. Think of your go-to guys. They got to start trying to get the ball in the hand of Mullins more.
Flag on the
Illegal
play,
formation,
though.
more than 4 people in the backfield.
And it'll go against Golden Eagles and wipe that
5-yard
out.
penalty, second down.
So they have not been able to clean up the penalty situation. And that look says it all from Coach Monken.
It finally gets a positive play, getting things going, 1 step forward, 2 steps back.
So that'll make it 2nd and 15 from the 20. He goes back to Martin for a grab out to the 29. So now you have 3rd and manageable.
Here comes the tempo, trying to get the line and get a snap off.
Pressure coming. Good block there by Richard, but now Mullins has to throw it away. Looking for DJ Thompson. But again, pressure forced that play. Forced him to rush that play. So again, Nebraska's going to get the ball back with all 3 timeouts left and in pretty good field position. Saracen back out there for another punt. But that's one of the negatives of going tempo. You don't take up a whole lot of time.
That's what they always say. It's good to go tempo when you're creating first downs. When you're not, your defense is back on the field quick.
Saracen kicks it to Westerkamp, but it takes a little bit of a Southern Miss bounce. And there's a flag. Let's see if they get 7 on Nebraska for retaliating.
Yeah,
off the ball, Southern Miss.
It's Lance Schufer, 41. Just a stupid penalty.
He dropped Tariq Allen. Now, Allen went after him, not with a whole lot of authority, but there are 2 flags out there.
You see Todd Monken just telling Schufer, why would you do that? It's no bearing on the play whatsoever.
Now, is it just unnecessary
During
roughness?
the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Kicking team, number 41, 15-yard penalty, first down Nebraska.
So let's take a look. Loss of composure here because now Nebraska's going to be in great shape when you tack on 15.
Yeah, and the ball's dead. It's going to be, and then just out of nowhere hits the guy in the back. That's the plays that the refs in college football and pro football want to get. There's kind of borderline dirty plays like that again have no bearing on what's happening to the play. They want to get those out of the game.
Can't imagine you're going to get away with something like that right in the middle of the field, right?
And not with all these cameras and how many thousand people in the stands. No, absolutely not.
So Newby out there in Nebraska, obviously with a great opportunity here to really put this one away in the first half. 34 seconds left with 3 timeouts and a very good kicker. And again, Armstrong all day over the top. Morgan trips, but there's the flag. Going after Picasso Nelson, and he's going to get called for interference.
And Picasso Nelson, he's playing for the injured Deshadrick Truly. Looks like he got a little bit of the jersey.
Truly would have missed the first half anyway after a targeting call, but also not 100%, so he did not make the trip.
Pass interference, number 8, offense, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Wow. So that changes things. That flips the script.
Yeah, and Stanley Morgan, I guess they're going to say it's hard to see in your screen here, but he had the push off. I don't know. That's hard to see. I don't know.
When he first said number 8, I'm like, didn't you just hear me say number 8 didn't make the trip? Wow. Mike Riley's certainly confused by that one.
I'm confused too. I certainly didn't from my time I saw it.
27 seconds left. You still have the 3 timeouts, but do you risk a bad play? Off the play fake. They go right back over the top. Westerkamp makes the grab and goes down after the first down. So now, how do you manage this clockwise with 3 timeouts?
Yeah, they're gonna get, obviously the clock stops to move the chains here. They're gonna get right up, try to hold on to those timeouts.
So they go out of the gun. Pocket breaks down, dangerous play, almost on the tip drill, picked off. Kalen Reed came up to knock that away from Riley.
Westerkamp with a nice catch. See, this offense is designed for lots of quick, high percentage passes, short throws, and then they can hit you with the big one. Armstrong with a lot of pressure finds his go-to guy, Jordan Westerkamp. And by the way, Jordan Westerkamp, you got to give him credit. Coming out of high school, he decides to become roommates with a quarterback. I don't know his Wonderlic score, I don't know his IQ, but that's a smart decision. Kids, if you're listening at home and you're a wide receiver, become friends and roommates with a quarterback.
You clean up his room and
whatever you got to do, Eamon, he's going to throw you the football and make you look good.
All right, so Nebraska takes its first time out of the half. 9 seconds left here, Rocky. The ball's on the 40. What can you do here? What's your game plan?
I think you maybe try something, down the sideline, one quick play. You got the timeouts. If you pick up a big chunk yardage play, you can maybe get on for a last-second field goal. But really only time for one more offensive play safely. You figure 5 seconds for a play. If you push it, maybe go 4, maybe 2 plays, but it's hard with 9 seconds. I think you just try to get yourself 10, 15 yards and attempt a long field goal here.
Westerkamp, another productive day, started with the touchdown. Drew Brown's career long, 49 last week against Miami. And that's incomplete, not on the same page. So now 5 seconds left. Do you try a 57-yarder? Do you try a Hail Mary? Am I allowed to say those words in Lincoln, Nebraska?
I was going to say, people maybe they want to see if they can complete one on their own, but
so what do you do?
You don't line up the field goal here. I think you just try one more play.
Surprising that Stanley Morgan comes out.
I mean, look, I think in this situation, if you are going to try to go the end zone, look for Brandon Riley. He's your speed guy.
So you take a timeout to talk things
Nebraska's
over?
called their second timeout of the half.
Do you think about just taking a knee and say, okay, we're up big anyway, let's not risk anything?
You could certainly make that argument. You've had a pretty good first half, hadn't had a lot of success in the red zone, but you certainly want to do nothing risky. If you're going to make a throw it to the sidelines where if the receiver doesn't catch it, it goes out of bounds. This team has tempted fate a lot here so far this season. Maybe not do it again here this first half.
Coming up at the half, we'll turn it over to ESPN Goal Line to get you caught up on all the big games across the country. In the Big Ten, Michigan hosting BYU. Rutgers trying to get on track against Kansas. It's been a wild year in Piscataway. Zubin Mehenti standing by to bring you all the latest news, scores, and highlights. So Tariq Allen at 6'3", a lineup on the right. Alonzo Moore, 6'2" to the left.
Here you see Southern Miss in their touchdown Hail Mary prevent defense.
And now Southern Miss is going to make Zubin Mehenti wait a little bit more by taking a timeout.
This will be a 30-second team timeout.
Had a nice chat with Coach Monken before the game. Pretty cool. He finds a couple of Nebraska fans and has a catch with them down on the field. That was pretty cool to see.
It was weird because we were walking out there and we're like, hey, let's go say hi to Coach Monken. And why is he throwing the ball with a Nebraska young kid?
He's throwing a kid in a red Tommy Frazier jersey.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's going on?
Well, we talked to one of the assistant coaches, and he said that's one of Monken's traditions. Whenever he's on the road, he'll grab a young fan out of the stands and just bring him out on the field and throw some catches. I thought it was pretty cool.
Trying to turn this ship around down at Southern Miss. Program with great tradition.
Southern Miss, you said the tradition. They, from 1978 to 2011, only 4 losing seasons. Win the Conference USA in 11, then it's been downhill from there.
So do they go to the Hail Mary or try to get a quick play and then the timeout? It's the quick play to Moore, who goes right down. They're going to have to go look at the clock because the clock says 0, but he went down with a second left. Coach Monken saying, hey, we are done.
If you're Coach Monken, you start telling your guys to go to the locker room here.
Well, again, game clock reviewable, play clock is not. So Coach
At
Monken's
the end of the play, Nebraska called their third and final timeout of the half. This will be a 30-second team timeout. Timer, please reset the game clock to 1 second. 1 second, please. Thank you.
So he catches the ball and goes down and just gets the timeout in. Now the clock's going to have 1 second on it. That's a goes down. Yeah.
All right. So it'll be a career long if he makes it. They say they thought he was good from 50. Wind is always a factor here. It looks like it's not right now. 49-yarder was good a week ago against Miami. And now they're going to ice him. And that one definitely had the leg. Well, Coach Monken gets the timeout, so the cat and mouse game is on.
Second timeout of the half. This will be a 30-second team timeout.
It would be quite the exclamation point to the first half for Drew Brown. He's already kicked 4 field goals and now looking for a career-long 50-yarder. Now again, Southern Miss can indeed take another timeout.
This is always the cat and mouse game here. Okay, you have one more timeout. Do you fake the other team into thinking you're going to use that timeout? It's one of those gamesmanship things.
Yeah.
The heartbreaker is always when you do call the timeout and they miss, and then you.
So let's see. Now we're ready to go. Last week he hit his career high 49. This will be a yard farther at 50. Looking to make it 22-0. Not phased at all by the timeout. He drills it. What a first half for Drew Brown. 5 for 5, and the exclamation point, a 50-yarder.
Excellent job by Nebraska moving the ball most of the game, but then the field goal kicker coming up big. 5 big ones.
All Nebraska here in the first half against Southern Miss. Drew Brown with 5 field goals. Our halftime score, Nebraska 22, Southern Miss nothing. After the break, Zubin Mehenti will bring you all the latest news, scores, and highlights from ESPN Goal Line. Then it's the second half from Lincoln. Halftime here at Lincoln, the Cornhuskers pitching a shutout. They lead Southern Miss 22-0. Eamon McEnany along with Rocky Boyman. And Rocky, for the Nebraska offense, it has been a quality, balanced attack with Tommy Armstrong Jr. being the maestro.
Well, it really has, and I'll tell you what, he's everything as advertised. Been really impressed with him all day. He's done a little bit of everything. He's creating offense with his legs, you know, making some plays out there. How's he fit into this system? Well, he fits into it just fine, a little bit unique. Also picking up some nice yards in the passing game. Heck, Eamon, he's even hurling guys out there. Who knew he had this kind of athleticism? But the thing for Nebraska is that they've had some nice offensive drives going, but most of these drives have ended with field goals.
Drew Brown, 5 first-half field goals. That ties an NCAA record for field goals in a half. Another Cornhusker, Dale Klein, had 5 back in 1985 in New Mexico State's Dat Lee in 1988. We'll be back with the second half. Nebraska with the ball when we start things off in the third quarter after this. Welcome back to Lincoln as the Southern Miss Golden Eagles take on the Nebraska Cornhuskers along with the former Notre Dame and NFL linebacker Rocky Boyman. I'm Eamon McEnany. Southern Miss has scored 108 points in its last 2 games, but right now they are sitting on 0. Nebraska leads Southern Miss 22-0. And last week in the 56-50 win over Texas State, Rocky, Southern Miss ran for 280 yards.
Yeah, certainly,
not today.
Yeah, certainly going the wrong direction here today with minus 14. But for Nebraska, you look at the first downs, it picked up 14 first downs. That's, again, what this Mike Riley offense is designed to do. Move the chains, complete passes, pick up first downs. They've done a good job of that, but except for the field goals in the red zone.
Nebraska 5 for 5 in the red zone, as you mentioned, Rocky, but having to settle for field goals. A career day so far for Drew Brown.
Yeah, he's doing a good job. And, you know, the red zone, it's hard to score down there at times, so you got to have a good field goal kicker, a guy who's confident that you can put him through the uprights there. But at some point here in the second half, I have to imagine that was part of the halftime speech. Let's punch this ball in the end zone, boys.
He even cashed in from outside the red zone, ending the first half with a career-long 50-yarder. So it's been a busy day for number 34 in red, although the Mike Riley and the fans wish it was extra points instead of field goals, but they will take the 22-0 lead. on a perfect day for football here in Lincoln. 73 degrees, not a cloud in the sky over Memorial Stadium. The fans, of course, once again out for another sellout. 343rd straight sellout here in Lincoln.
A sea of red. They love their Cornhusker football around here. Early in the morning they got started, and they're not relenting whatsoever.
So Terrell Newby back to receive the kick from Stephen Broccoli. Last out-of-conference game for Nebraska. They get Illinois next week. And this is returnable. Well short, Newby from the 12. Gets across the 25. Pushes the pile out across the 30. They'll mark it at the 30, which is where Tommy Armstrong Jr. and the Cornhuskers will take over. And another impressive first half for Tommy Armstrong Jr.
It really has. And let me just say this. A lot of times coordinators will try to take away a guy's strength. If you're a running quarterback, you know what? Go ahead and allow this guy to run. Don't take away one of his strengths. And that's what I love about what Mike Riley's done. Yeah, this is not the perfect fit for his system, but he's adapted and it's really added a whole new element to itself.
Now Amani Cross starts in the backfield. And he gets it here, but Southern Miss with the penetration. Darian Yancey with the tackle for a loss. We mentioned the sellout streak, one streak that is in jeopardy for Nebraska. 17 consecutive games with at least 3 touchdowns. They've had their opportunities, but so far they've had to settle for field goals. And as we mentioned, the sellout streak, today's attendance, 89,899 people.
I mean, they have 87,000 for the spring game around here. That's how much they like their Cornhusker football.
That's when Mike Riley realized he was in a different bag when he
right.
looked around and saw the sea of red for a spring football game. Off the play fake over the middle. Western, oh, it's picked off. What a play by Denarius Antoine. Inside the 20, the 5, knocked it with a flag. We wonder if this flag is on the block, but what a play by Antoine to keep that one off the rug.
And that's a ball that Armstrong should not have thrown. The linebacker Parker was clearly in great position to make a play, and Armstrong tried to force it.
Critical flags, though, let's see, because they are in great shape unless it's a block in the back on the return. Looks like they're going to mark it off. If you're a Southern Miss fan, the officials are going the wrong way. So Tommy Armstrong talking things over with Danny Langsdorff. But what a play by Denarius Antoine.
And he's a guy we haven't called his name much.
After the interception, personal foul, block below the waist, interception team, number 13, 15-yard penalty, first down Southern Miss.
So a tough call against Picasso Nelson. The Golden Eagles will take the turnover, obviously, but it could have been first and goal inside the 5.
And as I said, just Armstrong should not have thrown this ball. Parker's clearly right in perfect position there, pops the ball up in the air, and that's when bad things happen for an offense. Demarius Antoine did a good job shaking and baking. He's one of their best dynamic playmakers on this defense. Finally comes up with a big one.
And you saw there at the end, Picasso Nelson go low on Amani Cross. Picks it up off the turf. So now the Golden Eagles back at the 25.
I say you take a shot here if you're Southern Miss.
DJ Thompson, body your screen to the right, twins to the left. Over the middle on the slant, that's complete to Mike Thomas. Now at the end of the play,
Armstrong may have led with the helmet.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, a little head-to-head, little targeting foul there. Could the rest miss that one.
Second and 1 from the 16 for Nick Mullins in the Golden Eagle offense. That has had very little rhythm here today. They give it to Smith up the middle. Still on his feet. Nice move at the 5. He will score. 16 yards. Ito Smith puts the Golden Eagles on the board.
And Ito Smith, great job hitting the daylight and then just breaks the ankles of the safety, Nate Gary, toward the end once he gets into the open field. Great job of just finding a little bit of space, making a fancy move and getting to the house.
Just enough of a seam created by the offensive line. So the shutout is gone. Parker Schoenfield makes it 22-7. It was the defense coming up with the big play, and then Ito Smith
I'm out on the field for media.
with a nice juke to find the end zone. We have a ball game in Lincoln. Ito Smith with his second touchdown of the season puts Southern Miss on the board after running 25 plays in the first half and coming up with 0 points. The Golden Eagles need 2 plays in the third quarter to get on the board, but of course the big play, the interception by Denarius Antoine.
That was Armstrong's 5th interception on the year. I have to say, a lot of those interceptions have been the faults of the receivers. They'll miss a ball or pop up in the air, but that one there was certainly on the fault of Tommy Armstrong.
Broccoli out for the kick. Terrell Newby back to receive, standing at the Nebraska 6. Newby goes back, brings it out. And a bad decision as he gets out to the 12. So after the first half, that was nothing but great field position. Nebraska backed up inside the 15. Xavier Thigpen with the tackle. And a reminder, one of the best quarterbacks in the league shines on Monday Night Football. Reigning MVP Aaron Rodgers leads the pack against Jamal Charles and the Chiefs. Chiefs-Packers at 8:15 Eastern, Monday on ESPN and streaming live on Watch ESPN. Aaron Rodgers seemed to enjoy that win over the Seahawks just a little bit. He had some fun taking some shots at Russell Wilson and the Seahawks after that one. So now Tommy Armstrong Jr. After the interception, they come out in the I formation. Janovich and Cross. It's Cross right up the middle. Nothing doing there. Brian Anderson filling up the hole and pushing him back.
And if you're Nebraska offensively, you don't have to panic. Obviously, you don't have to do anything different. You've moved the ball well, especially inside, in between the 20-yard lines.
Well, interesting, they're giving Cross both series here to start the third quarter. Newby's healthy. He's been out there on kickoff return. But they're giving the senior a shot. Now back to the shotgun, 3 receivers on 2nd and long. Armstrong hits the tight end. Cotton breaks 1 tackle and gets the first down. So Sam Cotton with a good run after the catch.
And that's one thing last year, this Nebraska offense did not utilize the tight end very much, but Mike Riley in his system, he does utilize the tight end, and Sam Cotton, David Sutton, Sethan Carter are sure happy to see that happen here now.
13-yard pickup. Brings it out to the 27, 1st and 10. On the fly sweep, it's Moore. Turns the corner. About an 8-yard gain. And you mentioned that's DeMornay Pearsonell's bread and butter, but Moore with the good play there.
Yeah, Moore, and you got a nice block there from Andy Janovich. Really doing some dirty work there is Janovich, blocking on the perimeter, picking up some nice yards there for Moore.
So we'll make it a 9-yard gain, setting up 2nd and 1. Now Riley in motion, off the play fake. Stanley Morgan with the grab for a first down in Southern Miss territory. He pulls 3 Golden Eagles, still dragging them. Picks up about 5 extra yards, and the crowd likes the effort.
There you go, some emotion out of the young freshman, Stanley Morgan.
26 yards, about the last 5 were all Stanley Morgan.
And I feel like every time Armstrong rolls outside the pocket, he just has a tremendous view, and his wide receivers are open. This time, he could have hit either Westerkamp or Morgan. Hits the young freshman instead, drives forward for more yards after the catch.
Now from the Southern Miss 38, up the middle. You give it to Janovich. That'll hurt that average.
That's right.
He had 2 big plays in the first half, a 25-yard run and a 53-yard catch.
Like Riley said, he's one of the best special teams players he's ever been around in his entire career as well.
Riley goes out to the right, twins to the left. Crossing the backfield for 2nd and 6 from the Golden Eagles 34. Pump, looking for it all here in Morgan. Too long, good coverage by Trey Collins. So they pump to Westerkamp and then look for the deep ball.
There's good coverage all around there by Southern Miss, locking in on those wide receivers.
So now 3rd and 6. I guess we can say you're in Drew Brown field goal range since he's already hit from 50, but obviously Nebraska would love to pick up the first down. Hovey, top of your screen to the right, twins to the left. Westerkamp, the security blanket in the slot. Off the play fake, off the mark. Looking for the tight end, Seethan Carter, and that one probably the first real bad throw, accuracy-wise, by Armstrong.
Yeah, and had Armstrong hit Carter on that play, I think they certainly would have gotten the first down. The wide receiver pulled all the coverage deep and away to the other side of the field. Nothing but space and opportunity for Carter, but Armstrong couldn't hit him.
No, 5 in the first half, why not? We're going to keep backing up that career long. 49 last week, 50 to end the first half. This one looks like 51 yards. If you had Drew Brown on your fantasy team this week, it's been a good Saturday. Can he make it even better for you and Nebraska? Plenty of leg. No good. Off to the left. Make that the right. So no points for Nebraska. Southern Miss with the ball back in great field position when we return to Lincoln. Welcome back to Lincoln. Southern Miss with the ball at its own 34. It's been a good start to the 3rd quarter for the Golden Eagles.
Really has. I'm certainly not the first one to say, but turnovers are such backbreakers, and Southern Miss comes up with a big-time opportunity on the errant throw by Armstrong, and then after that, Edo Smith with some nice fancy footwork in the open field finally gets the Golden Eagles on the board.
Nebraska scored on all 6 of its possessions in the first half, 1 touchdown and 5 field goals. So far here in the second half, 2 possessions, 1 interception, 1 missed field goal. And if the Golden Eagles can get some points here, this place will get pretty antsy. So Smith off the touchdown, stays in the backfield with Mullins. Mullins with time, looking down the sideline. A little bump, no flag, looking for Mike Thomas. Lost his footing going back for the ball.
And I like the play here. Again, this is the secondary for Nebraska has been a weak link all year. Keep testing those guys. Okay, you cover us a few times here in the first half. We're going to keep testing you until you answer the bell. I like Nick Mullins putting the ball up in the air.
Jonathan Rose with the coverage. So now it's 2nd and 10. Over the middle, complete. DJ Thompson goes up and gets it in Nebraska territory at the 38. A 28-yard gain.
And here comes the tempo by Southern Miss, getting up the line quick, calling another play.
3 receivers to the left, Smith in the backfield. They run it. Short gain, can't get to the 35.
Yeah, you know, getting up the line quick there, but the catch. Finally got the inside move there, got inside Chris Jones, the nickel back. Now here's Southern Miss in Nebraska territory.
2nd and 8. Plenty of time on the play clock. Now Mullins changing the play, it appears. Has a man open. Not much for Casey Martin to do after the catch as Josh Kalu came up for the tackle. So a critical 3rd down here. 3rd and 3 for Mullins and the Eagles. Again, no huddle, going quickly. Have to wonder if you're in 4-down territory at the 31 in a shaky kicking game. Trips to the left. Thompson, bottom of your screen to the right. 9 on the play clock. Nebraska showing pressure up the middle. And Southern mismoved. Penalties, penalties, penalties.
Offense, number 66. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Coach Monken told us our speakers don't make enough noise to simulate 89,000 people. They tried it, but Andrew Peterson flinched.
Well, you're right. It's been, again, the penalties in the game's most critical situations that has hurt Southern Miss this whole season.
Now they're really loud here at Memorial Stadium. 3rd and 8 from the Nebraska 36. Cornhuskers showing pressure off the edge. Here they come. And they read it perfectly, complete to Smith. And he gets the 1st down. A great play call by Chip Lindsey and Todd Monken. They threw right where the pressure came from, Rocky.
Absolutely. They bring the A-gap pressure right up in the middle. The quarterbacks hate that, but give Mullins a lot of credit for feeling that, but knowing where his open guy was, making the catch.
Right back to Smith. Right back up the middle. So Smith on the grab picks up 12. There's a short gain up the middle. Chris Webber with the tackle.
And I love what I'm seeing out of Nick Mullins. He's really doing a good job orchestrating this offense, getting them out of bad plays, getting them into good plays, showing some nice leadership out there.
Now they send Smith out as a receiver. Flag on the play. Nebraska doesn't fall for it as they fake this throw and then handed it off to Smith coming around to the right, but a flag before the snap. And it's against Nebraska. They were lined up in the neutral zone, it looks like.
Offside. Defense, number 91. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Maybe that's the tempo causing Nebraska.
And that's what they do well, is that they change up the tempo. It's not just fast, fast, fast all the time, but it's just every once in a while they'll put their foot on the gas, then they'll pull it back. Really keeps the defense on its heels.
2nd and 2, bunch set to the left. Thompson to the right, now motion. Mullins has to force it, he throws it away. And now another flag, a 2nd flag. The busy day continues for our officials.
Holding. Offense, number 75. 10-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Goes against Oliver Bates. Working against Malik Collins. And no doubt about that one. He had both hands on his jersey, and there you go. You see the penalty woes continuing for Coach Monken's club. Teams have totaled for 100 yards in penalties this afternoon already. So Coach Mark Banker's defense looking for a stop. It's 2nd and 12. Richard now in the backfield. And he has it. Nothing doing whatsoever. So a conservative call on 2nd and 12 is going to set up 3rd and long. Ross Dezuris and Chris Webber in on the play.
Yeah, they had minus 14 yards rushing at the half, and certainly haven't been able to find much here in the second half as well.
Rocky, you going for all 13 yards here? You're trying to set up 4th down and manageable.
I try to set up a 4th down and manageable. This is certainly that area of the field in this time of the game. You got to be aggressive, but maybe give yourself a better opportunity at 4th down, being a 4th and short.
8th play of the drive that started on the Southern Miss 34. Smith and Richard in the backfield. 5 on the play clock for Mullins. They're looking back. Will he get it off? He wants the snap. He does. Setting up the screen behind Richard. That almost got picked off by Dedrick Young. So now decision time for Coach Monken. It'll be about a 44-yard field goal.
That was the second time today, I mean, we've seen where the Nick Mullins is wanting the snap. He's telling the center there, Cameron Tom, look, snap me the ball, snap me the ball. The clock's getting down. Maybe give us some credit to the sea of red here at Memorial Stadium.
So he sends out Parker Schoenfield for the field goal. He made his one kick a week ago and was perfect on extra points. He missed a 33-yarder earlier today in the first half from 44. Missed again. So Southern Miss cannot cash in after driving into Nebraska territory, and it remains Cornhuskers 22, Golden Eagles 7. To wrap up a playoff bid, Rocky, all he wants to do is talk about USC and Arizona State. That game will keep you up late at night, entertained with those two offenses. So now Nebraska trying to get its offense in a rhythm here in the third quarter. And Cross loses the ball. Wow. Southern Miss takes over. Denarius Antoine with his second turnover here in the third quarter.
And I'm not quite certain why Amani Cross is getting the bulk of the carries here in the second half. Terrell Newby is doing a nice job.
Ball was stripped prior to
here
the
we
runner
go
being
again,
down.
another turnover.
First down, Southern Miss.
Southern Miss back with some more momentum.
Antoine, the strip and the recovery. And again, that's a guy Coach Monken's been recruiting for a while. They thought they had him on his way to Oklahoma State.
Yeah, tried to get him in Oklahoma State. And talk about this, too. Usually you hear about players starting off as a linebacker or as a safety, and they'll move him down the linebacker. Antoine came in as a 230-pound linebacker. They said, hey, we love what you do out here. Lose 15 pounds and go play strong safety for us. And ever since then, he's done a heck of a job.
A huge turning point in this game here. Richard up the middle. Gets to about the 31. Again, you know, back to Amani Cross. He has been the running back here in the second half. Newby was out there on kickoff return.
I'm not quite sure. We haven't gotten any word of whether Newby's hurt or what the deal is, but this running back by committee approach, in my opinion, has gotten Nebraska in trouble early in this season. They started to settle on Newby, but here they go off script.
4-yard pickup sets up 2nd and 6. Mullins down the sideline, plenty of contact. There's the flag.
Here it comes. And it really seems right now that Southern Miss is going after the nickelback, Chris Jones.
I thought there was less contact there than on the other one, but certainly Thompson fell to the ground.
Pass interference. Defense, number 8. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
So now the Golden Eagles going to the Nebraska red zone.
And that's the trouble, Eamon, when your secondary in this case is giving up a lot of big plays. The offenses smell the blood in the water. They're going to keep attacking you. I think Southern Miss and Todd Monken are going to keep testing this secondary, and so far it's working out here in the second half.
Thompson, bottom of your screen to the right. Richard up the middle. Breaks one tackle, can't escape the second. Ross DeZuris holds on for dear life. But a productive play on first down for Richard.
Yeah, it was a really nice job. Again, the vision in the zone run game. Nate Gary, the safety, comes down, but credit Richard for finding the open area, making something out of nothing.
6-yard pickup, 2nd and 4 from the 11. Make it 2nd and 5. Twins to the right, Richard in the backfield. Now they put Martin in motion. Here comes pressure, so Mullins throws it away. Now a huge 3rd and 5 for the Golden Eagles.
And DJ Thompson, the wide receiver, number 5, he had the big play earlier, the 50-yarder. He's a nice size target, 6'3", 200 pounds. Either him or Casey Martin, number 83.
You've already missed 2 field goals.
Yeah, you got to go for it here.
Well, we got 3rd down first.
I'm saying, you got to be aggressive. DJ Thompson at the bottom of your screen.
Martin in motion to the left. That's where Mullins is looking. Looking for Martin, who makes the grab, but he's short. He reaches out. Let's see where they mark it. Decision time here for Coach Monk, and I think you're going to have to go for it on the road. You don't get too many opportunities like this against Nebraska.
Yeah. 2 missed field goals, and you're down by 2 scores. You got to go for it here.
Huge play here. 4th and 1 from the Nebraska 12. Excuse me, 7.
Remember, they've not been able to run the ball very effectively so far today. I can't imagine it'll be a run. If I'm Mullins, I look in the way of number 83, Casey Martin again.
Richard in the backfield, out of the gun.
Martin's not even out there.
4 on the play clock. No, flags all over the place. He's well close, well short. They had to rush to get the snap off.
Holding. Offense, number 78. The penalty is declined. First down, Nebraska.
So that play had no chance right from the beginning.
And Fair had no choice but to hold because Malik Collins, number 7, the defensive tackle, was penetrating and really just stuffed that play before it got going. You see Collins just pushing the guard back. He has to hold and throw him to the ground. Excellent play by, again, I think their best player, number 7, Malik Collins.
Well, it's eating him that he doesn't have a sack yet, but he just came up with a huge play, blowing that one up. And Mike Riley fired up about his defense getting the stop.
And that's the thing these defensive tackles got to realize. A lot of times their production doesn't necessarily show up on the stat sheet, but plays like that, that's what can win games for teams and also help you find your way in the NFL one day.
Is this where we go back to talking about your days in Tennessee, how they let you make all the tackles and Hainsworth and Kevin Carter didn't get any stats? Now Newby back out there, makes some nice moves out across the 10. So a huge stop by the Nebraska defense after the turnover. And another missed opportunity on the flip side by Coach Monken's offense.
Yeah, it's just, it's just an opportunity. And it's playing in this stadium when you're the underdog coming in, you don't get that many opportunities down there. You got to capitalize.
After scoring 108 points in the last 2 games, that's going to help your red zone numbers. And there's a false start against Nebraska.
False start. Offense, number 71. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
So that goes against the captain, Alex Lewis, who had a dubious penalty last week in overtime. Unnecessary roughness after that interception that tacked on 15 for Miami and set him up pretty much in field goal range.
And then the worst thing by going off on Twitter. That's a big no-no.
Armstrong with time, swings it out, but it's dropped by Seethan Carter. So now it'll be 3rd and 9. Inside your own 10, Rocky, you conservative here?
I think you are, because you want to, give your punter an opportunity, some more room to get a ball off here. But another drop. Seethan Carter last week had a big drop on a play where he was wide open, and the drops, last week I counted 6. There may have been more. That's really been the big Achilles heel of this offense so far this year.
Nebraska 0 for 7 on 3rd down, which is why they had to settle for 5 field goals in the first half. Newby in the backfield, trips to the left. Armstrong steps up, hits Westerkamp for a 1st down. Out to the 22.
Well, it wasn't quite conservative, but just a nice job by Armstrong. He feels the pressure coming around him, steps up in the pocket, and finds his go-to guy, Jordan Westerkamp, for the 1st down.
14-yard pickup. Out at the Nebraska 22. And he is the safety net. Now Newby in the backfield. He has it here. Fights across the 25 out to about the 28.
I'd be really interested to know why Nebraska in the second half comes out with Amani Cross. Was there an injury? I have no idea, but Terrell Newby is your go-to guy. He's done a pretty good job. I don't know why you change things up when things are working so well.
6-yard pickup makes it 2nd and 4. Now they go stick with Newby. And he gets it again. Driven back short of the 1st down, so it'll be 3rd and short. Make it 3rd and 1.
And I think here you either run the ball or you get Armstrong outside the pocket, give him that run-pass option that he's so good at converting. We've seen it all year. We've seen it today.
So Newby comes out. Cross and Janovich in the huddle for now. And they give it to the fullback. And he has a huge hole. Breaks one tackle. Gets a block. What a day for Andy Janovich. You need an explosive play? Of course, you go to your fullback.
Of course. That's how every offense dials it up. Again, Janovich coming in today, hadn't touched the ball one time, and so far today he has 2 or 3 really nice plays. It's just that quick hitter, that belly flip. The defense is kind of caught off guard. They're not expecting their game plan this week did not have anything about Janovich running the ball. He's done a good job.
That's when you go back to the coaches on the bus and say, Coach, we didn't prepare for that.
What happened to that in the game plan?
28-yard pickup. Back into Southern Miss territory. Now Moore breaks one tackle. Inside the 25, knocked out of bounds by Picasso Nelson. But again, what a day here for the fullback, the senior out of Nebraska.
I'm telling you, they're going to make the T-shirts up tonight. They'll be available for sale tomorrow. Andy Janovich, loving what he's doing. 3 rushes for 57 yards. Again, not so much in the game plan, but sometimes that happens. Guys that aren't so much a part of the big part of the offense, they got to come up big, and he's done it.
Armstrong all day. Now the pocket breaks down. Looking into the end zone. Dropped.
And it was just a nice job by Armstrong. He stays in the pocket, but then just extends the play. That's what he does best. He has 82. Alonzo Moore streaking across the field. I thought he put the ball in a great spot. Moore just can't come up with it.
Is it me, or did that play look familiar at all to the one in Miami that was intercepted in overtime?
Absolutely. And Armstrong, you can see the frustration. He knew he threw a nice ball. Moore couldn't come up with it.
Looked like a tougher play on the replay than it did live. Now off the play fake. Setting up the screen, high pass. Antoine thought he got held up. That's an interesting call. Antoine could not make a play for the interception because the offensive lineman was blocking him.
Yeah, but Armstrong, this is the second time today where on these short, pretty much high percentage throws, he's been very inaccurate. And that's the thing in his game. In this style of offense, quarterback should be 65% completion percentage, but Armstrong on his career is 53 so far, just 56% this year. Need to complete those high percentage passes.
They picked up their last 2 third-down conversions after starting 0 for 7, but this is 3rd and 10. Here comes pressure. He gets rid of it. Complete. Right at the marker. Looks like it's going to be a first down. What a surprise, Jordan Westerkamp.
That's right, the roommate telling him all week, hey, Tommy, when you're in trouble, come to me, babe. And Armstrong, not the best throw in the world, a little bit behind Westerkamp, but credit him for reaching behind, coming up with a pass, moving the chains.
Time out on the field for a Southern Miss injury.
Denarius Antoine down on the field, being helped up. Southern Miss can't afford to lose number 12. He has been all over the place, but has to be helped off the field. Nebraska has set up shop in the red zone throughout this ball game. Just the 1 touchdown, though.
That's the thing is as they've come into this game so good in the red zone, not so much today. Getting the field goals, of course, but time to punch it in.
Westerkamp already with a career high 9 receptions in 1 ball game. Ties a career high set at Michigan State last season. Now they swing it out. Nice move there. Touchdown, Nebraska. Tariq Allen gets in. The senior with his first touchdown of the season.
The field on the previous play was touchdown Nebraska. That ruling is under further review.
Third of his career, makes it 28-7.
And Allen, this is just a glorified run play, more or less. And the cornerback, Camille Armstrong, he shoots his gun, but just can't make the tackle. Nice footwork there by Allen. Find his way in the end zone.
Taking a look to see if the ball crossed before the tush hit the ground. Certainly looks like it from there.
It looked to me in that second review, the ball did cross before his backside hit the ground.
Senior out of the Rivers School in Massachusetts. He's saying, hey, come on, what are we waiting for?
Call it a touchdown.
Come on.
Try to get one more shot of it here. And it looked like from the first view that he did get in before his backside hit. Try to see if a knee comes in.
Yeah, I don't think you can overturn that.
No, I don't think there's enough evidence to say he clearly was touched down before he crosses.
Key block by Brandon Riley.
And as I said, these short, just one steps, throw it out there. These are essentially glorified runs in this Mike Riley offensive system. Get it out there, get the lead blocker in front, and then it's up to the receiver to make some guys miss and punch it in.
You know, I say key block by Brandon Riley, and I'm always confused. Clearly, he's engaging the defensive back while the ball's in the air, so that defensive back can't make a play on the ball. And I know as you,
I'm saying, are you tempting me? Are you tempting me right now to go off on how unfair it is for defenders?
Maybe until after the break, or the ride to the airport, Rocky.
It's hard to play defense. That's all I'm going to say. It was hard enough before. It's even harder now.
So the busy day for Drew Brown continues. And the kick is good to make it 29-7. So first solid drive of the third quarter for Nebraska makes it a 22 ball game. They go 93 yards in 11 plays, 4 minutes and 4 seconds. And once again, they are in command of this ball game.
Yeah, it looked a little shaky here to start off, but credit this offense and Armstrong getting everybody back in the groove here, going up a touchdown.
And some critical, obviously that's redundant, third down conversions that they didn't do in the first half. There, Tommy Armstrong and Westerkamp kept the drive alive.
He did, and again, to me, that's where Tommy Armstrong has been the best, in the critical situations. And okay, he's missed some passes here and there. The interception he threw earlier certainly wasn't a good decision, but in the big-time moments, the third downs especially, Armstrong's been great.
Smith and Michael back to receive the kick. Southern Miss right now has to be wondering what could have been. The drive came up short on 4th and 1. Smith with a nice move out across the 20, which is where Mullins and company will go to work. But again, 280 yards on the ground a week ago for Southern Miss, and obviously you expect it to be tougher sledding against Nebraska than Texas State, but still Jalen Richard has not been a factor at all.
And you just wonder if they thought they could run the ball a little bit better with Vincent Valentine, the big 320-pounder, being out of the game for Nebraska, but so far that hasn't been the case. Kevin Williams, Kevin Maurice have also done a good job alongside Malik Collins of plugging up those holes in the interior.
Down 3 scores, 21 seconds left in the third. Do you abandon the run?
I don't know. I mean, you can't totally abandon because that allows you to be multiple, but I think you've got to start putting the ball up in the air here.
So Ito Smith moves into the pistol formation. Mullins checks down to the Dathan Davis, who makes the catch. Mark it at the 28. Mullins looking to go quickly here.
Yeah, that's what you want as an offense. You get a nice completion, get back up in the line, let's get into some rhythm here.
6-yard pickup. They swing it back out to Davis, who gets a block. Gets the first down, out to about the 35. They'll mark it at the 36.
Well, it worked to the right side. Let's try it again to the left side. Same play 2 times in a row.
And that'll do it for the third quarter. Well, the Golden Eagles had their chance.
Timeout on the field.
to make Nebraska sweat. But now as we go to the final 15 minutes of regulation, Tommy Armstrong Jr. and the Huskers with a comfortable 22-point lead. Just under 90,000 on hand here at Memorial Stadium. Another sellout. The streak that started back in November of 1962 continues. And right now, they like what they're seeing so far, as Nebraska has dominated from the get-go. Dressing up for the occasion. Off the play fake. Mullins airing it out down the sideline. Has a man open and complete inside the Nebraska 20. Mike Thomas with another big play given up by this Nebraska secondary.
Yeah, and this time it's Jonathan Rose allows the receiver to get behind you. We've seen it every game this year. These corners have not quite figured out. If you're going to play this style of system, Eamon, your cornerbacks have got to be able to cover people. And it looked like Rose just lost the ball when it was in the air. The receiver kept running, poured it in.
53-yard pickup. They're back in the red zone. Nothing doing again for Ito Smith. The ground game has been non-existent for Southern Miss here today. Dedrick Young, the freshman, leading the way on that play. No gain.
Dedrick Young having a pretty nice game here. Had the ankle injury in practice this week. But so far today, flying around pretty good.
Trips to the right. Thomas, bottom of your screen to the left. Mullins looking for him. Pocket collapses, so he throws it away. Looking for Smith finally out of the backfield. Young bringing the pressure, so now 3rd and 10.
Nebraska doing a good job bringing pressure without blitzing. If you just rush forward, that obviously means you can keep 7 guys in coverage. There's nowhere for Mullins to go with the football.
3rd and 10 from the 11. Golden Eagles just 3 of 10 on 3rd down. Richard in the backfield. Mullins steps up, flag on the play. Martin breaks 1 tackle, brought down at the 6. Still going. But my guess is this one might come back against Southern Miss again.
Again, a penalty potentially in the red zone after a critical conversion.
Now, if you're Nebraska, do you turn it down, set up 4th down? Or do you take them out of field goal range, obviously? With the...
Offense, number 75. 10-yard penalty. 3rd down.
So Nebraska takes the penalty on Oliver Bates. They're spreading the wealth on the offensive linemen. I think
they've all been guilty. And then you see the red zone scoring for Southern Miss today, just 1 for 5. They've done a pretty decent job moving the football. It's kind of been the opposite. The Cornhuskers move the ball throughout the field and, you know, haven't done a good job in the red zone. Southern Miss is kind of the same thing.
7 penalties for 70 yards for Southern Miss today. 3rd and 20. Mullins for the end zone. They got it. Casey Morton on the post beats Byerson Cockrell. What a throw by Mullins.
And Mullins throws an absolute rope to Casey Martin on the slant route for the touchdown. Good job seeing the field. Goes to his go-to guy, but just, bam, unleashes that bad boy. Martin hauls it in.
So now, Sean Fields missed 2 field goals. They go with, he's now out there for the extra point. And that's good. So just like that, things are quiet here at Memorial Stadium. Penalty does not thwart Mullins this time as he fires a dart into the end zone. Martin with another touchdown catch. Things remain interesting in Lincoln. Casey Martin on the receiving end of a perfect strike by Mullins to make it 29-14 as they go 78 yards in 6 plays. Mullins now with 276 yards passing, and Mark Banker's defense could not get the stop there on 3rd and long.
Yeah, again, the very frustrated Mark Banker, his secondary, just from a coverage standpoint, as many good things as this Nebraska team does, their coverage has been so suspect. I know they're trying to figure out this new system. Last year they did more of a pattern match kind of thing, and this year it's a little bit different playing in that cover 4, but they got to get that thing fixed quickly.
Riley and Nelson back to receive. They go for the onside kick, and they get it. Oh my, what a grab. What a bounce and what a grab. Xavier Thigpen with the catch. So Coach Monken catches him sleeping.
And Mike Riley talked about this in his meeting with us yesterday, that they do lots of crazy things on the kickoff, and here they go with a surprise onside. Great kick, nice job, wall of people up there, and they recover.
Right through the hands
Clock operator, please
of
set the game
Cockrell.
clock to 13 minutes and 32 seconds. 13:32, please.
Look at that bounce, a perfect bounce for Southern Miss on the turf.
Yeah, that is exactly how you draw that thing up, but I think Nebraska was caught off guard a little bit. Didn't quite expect it.
All right, Rocky, sudden change. You go for it all here, or is everyone expecting it?
I think it's one of those deals where everyone's expecting it, but you certainly keep going with what you've been doing, especially that last drive. Keep testing that secondary until they answer.
There's a conversation. I wonder if they're reviewing if Thigpen came down in bounds with it. Did it go 10 yards? Coach Monken. So we're going to take another look. It has to go to the 45 before they can touch it, unless it's touched by the offense. Yeah, I mean, it's
certainly, yeah, that's 12 yards.
Yep. Now there's possession. Lands in bounds. I mean, you got to dot your I's and cross your T's. It's a huge play here, obviously, but I don't see how Southern Miss is going to lose the ball.
Then maybe they're looking if they were offside. I certainly didn't get that. Didn't see that from the first angle. Looks like a recovery to me. If you're 10 yards.
If you're watching this one in Hattiesburg, you get nervous that this one's taking so long. I'll tell you that.
That's the thing.
Again, our replay official up in the booth, Thomas Kissinger. Just have to wonder how many different things they can look at here.
Well, I just wonder if they're seeing if the guy who recovered it, as he's going down, does the ball hit the ground? It looked to me like his hand was underneath. The ball may have touched, but
it's not a reception. It's falling on a fumble.
It's true.
It's not a catch. So he doesn't have to have it. He just has to have the ball when he's landing the green. And
right, because he was in bounds.
The ruling on the field stands.
Yeah.
First down, Southern Miss.
So that was some angst across the state of Mississippi that they probably didn't need, but they'll breathe a sigh of relief right now. So now Coach Monken had some time to think about what he wants to do off the turnover. The Golden Eagles not going away here in Lincoln. You can punch it in here. It'll be white knuckler time in Memorial Stadium. Richard in the backfield. Mullins down the seam. Nice adjustment and the catch made by Thomas. Chip Lindsey told us we need him to play, and Mike Thomas has done that more this afternoon.
And these defensive backs just look lost out there. They look like they don't know what to do. They're not playing together, not playing good technique. Southern Miss is taking advantage.
28-yard pickup. Now looking to go quickly. Mullins behind the receiver. Incomplete. Looking for DJ Thompson. Completely different story for Southern Miss here in the second half.
And remember, it's all started by a turnover by Nebraska. They had this game essentially in the bag and heading out of here. Turnover by Armstrong gives a little bit of life to Southern Miss, and they've capitalized ever since.
4 wide receivers, Richard in the backfield on 2nd and 10. Nebraska showing pressure. Here it comes. Mullins throws into it. Complete for a short gain. Martin over the middle.
What a nice throw by Mullins. There had pressure in his face, just a tight window to be able to complete that ball, and he does it. Really been impressed with him today. Again, as I said to start the broadcast, his arm isn't going to wow you much, but he makes great decisions, and so far he's been big in the critical moments here today.
Now 3rd and 4. The running game's been non-existent for Southern Miss here on the road. Coach Monken doesn't want to think about it, but you would have to imagine 4-down territory again, down by 15. Nebraska brings pressure right up the gut. Mullins had to get rid of it. The ball was tipped. So Coach Banker dials up the blitz at the right time. Now it's 4th and 4.
And I like the call there by Mark Banker. Look, his secondary is getting hung out to dry a little bit. Let's try to get that quarterback a little bit uneasy and a little bit unsettled back there.
Coach Monken's going to take a timeout. Yeah, there's 12:32 left to go, but down by 15. You could say this is certainly the game. So the chess match is on between Mark Banker and Todd Monken. We're back with 4th and 4 after this. Mike Riley looking for a stop from his defense. Todd Monken looking for 5 yards from his offense. 4th and 4. Southern Miss making things interesting here in Lincoln. Down by 15, but threatening on the 19.
Got Casey Martin stacked at the bottom of your screen here. He's been the go-to guy.
That's where he's looking. Over the middle, Martin at the 5. He will score. 19 yards. He beat Kalu. And we're an extra point away from a 1-possession ball game.
Casey Martin just so good in space, but if you're the defensive back, you allow him to have a clean release off the line. Casey Martin coming up big.
So a huge extra point here for Schoenfield. And it's good.
And here's what I don't understand. In this situation, why you allow the wide receiver to get inside of you. Force the harder throw to the quarterback. Mullins, look, he's a lot of green space, and he just lets him go in there. I don't understand it. Force the receiver to the outside. It's a much harder throw for the quarterback. Kalu gives up a big one.
You know, we were talking this week with Todd Monken, who was the offensive coordinator at Oklahoma State when Brandon Whedon was there, and he talked to Brandon this week about getting the chance to start for the Cowboys, and he said, my advice is let it rip. Well, the head coach took his own advice with that onside kick, and now they've scored 14 points in the last 68 seconds.
Yeah, showing the aggressive nature and being proactive with things, and you got to give a lot of credit to Nick Mullins. This is by far the best game I've ever seen him play. Calm, cool, collected in the game's big moments.
This was a team that pretty much looked dead in the water at halftime after that 50-yard field goal made it 22-0. But again, as you mentioned it, the turnover changed this whole game. Denarius Antoine with the interception on the tip drill.
And it's not only just the play, it's the fact that here's Southern Miss. They're dead to rights, right? Nothing's going good. They're, hey, let's get on out of here. But you get that turnover gives that sideline some juice. They're now back in this game, gives them a little bit of belief. That's the power of turnovers. Now you got to wonder, does Southern Miss try another surprise onside? They've been very aggressive kicking the ball off here so far this year. See if they have anything up their sleeve.
12:26 to play. A whole new ball game here in Lincoln. Broccoli.
I think they were going to try something, Eamon.
I think they just took a timeout on a kickoff. Coach Monken's livid.
Did they not have enough people on the field?
They only had 10 guys on the field, so I don't know. I'd risk it. Is the timeout more important than that extra guy? I mean, obviously.
Well, this will be a 30-second.
Well, you burned one a play earlier, and that turned out to be good because you got the right play and all that, but now you're down to just one. Especially if you were going to call an onside. If one of the guys you're missing was going way to the outside, maybe he's not going to be on the play anyway. You don't burn a timeout. Try to get a count here as they freeze a screen. 5 up top. Yeah, I'm counting. Okay, yeah. The 11th guy counted was the ref. I thought it was the kicker for a second. Yeah, they were short a guy.
Nice cover to not be able to count to 11 there, Rocky.
That's right.
Blame it on the ref, like we always do. So, if they're going to do this, they're going to do it with only one timeout, but they're also going to need a stop. So let's see if Broccoli and the special teams are up to anything here. I would think at 12:20, with 12:26 left, you just kick it away and play some solid defense.
You think that, but I mean, Todd Monken has had some success here being aggressive. You come in here, you got nothing to lose. You never know. But now after the timeout, the element of surprise isn't there, but
Yeah, I'd say so.
never know. Never know.
They would never think we'd do it after a timeout. And they do indeed kick it away. And it's a heck of a kick into the end zone for a touchback as Riley takes a knee. So now this stunned Cornhusker Nation needs a drive. 343rd straight sellout. Thought they were going to see a walk in the park, especially after the first half when they led 22-0. Some fans even went to the parking lot to celebrate the victory. There's some empty rows in the upper deck. But now, all of a sudden, you need a drive.
And look, I can understand 2 losses this year, but yes, they've been on the last play. I've seen a lot of good things in spite of that. But you come in here and you allow Southern Miss to beat you in your home stadium, people are going to start to get worried around here.
I'd say so. But that is putting the cart before the horse right now as they have the ball in an 8-point lead. Newby in the backfield with Janovich. Newby to the right. Thigpen sets the edge, but he makes a miss, and he's hit from behind. Denarius Antoine back on the field in a big way. What team is playing with some enthusiasm right now, and what team isn't?
They got some juice, and Denarius Antoine, I'll tell you what, just tracks this ball down, comes from across the field, might have ran 50 yards on this play, stays with it, comes up with a big-time tackle. Wow, love that kind of play.
So it's a loss of 1, 2nd and 11. And you just wonder if mentally the Cornhuskers put this one in the win column prematurely. And that pass is knocked down at the line. Thigpen in on the play. He's the guy who recovered the onside kick, so Xavier Thigpen tipped it. So now 3rd and 11 from your own 24, up 8.
And I'll tell you what, this is where you go to your leader, Armstrong. This is where he's got to be great. Everyone's starting to lose some belief a little bit. He's got to be the guy that put this team on his back and lead him to victory.
And usually on 3rd and long, he looks for number 1, Westerkamp, as there is the angst in Lincoln right there. They did not expect this, up 22-0. Westerkamp in the slot to the left. Armstrong with time, looking deep. Looking for Westerkamp, incomplete, no flags. Trey Collins with the coverage, and the Golden Eagles are going to get it back. Down by 8.
And it would have been a heck of a catch, but this ball goes right through the hands of Jordan Westerkamp. Armstrong puts it way up in the air. Westerkamp comes back, but goes right through the mitts.
What do you think of the no flag there? That right hand not grabbing any jersey for you there, Rocky?
It's close. You know what side of the ball I played, though, so.
So the rule book goes out the window. So Casey Martin now setting up shop at the Southern Miss 31. Fultz with a good punt. Martin, an early fair catch signal. Bobbled it, but brings it in. And a reminder, the Bruins and Wildcats square off in a battle of Pac-12 unbeaten. Saturday Night Football presented by Wells Fargo. Number 9 UCLA against number 16 Arizona. Tonight at 8 on ABC and streaming live on Watch ESPN. Rich Rodriguez has that Arizona program humming. UCLA going without Miles Mack. But right now, Southern Miss, once down 22-0, now within 8, and with momentum. Too high, looking for Thomas.
And I just feel the secondary for Nebraska, they're just not confident. They're just scared to make a play, scared to make a move out there. At some point, they got to get that fixed. And I know it's a new system, and I know they're learning some new techniques, but right now they are certainly on their heels, not playing with any confidence at this point.
Thomas goes back and gets it. Covered by Jonathan Rose. But Thomas just too strong for him.
He just wanted that ball more than Rose did. Rose had pretty nice coverage on it, but Thomas just was a little more physical, came back to the football, and came up with the catch.
So now 3rd and 3 from your own 39. Thomas in motion. Nebraska brings pressure right up the middle. Low throw, dropped. Thomas had to go back for it and couldn't make the grab. Again, it was Rose in coverage.
And you're seeing Mark Banker be a little bit more aggressive with the pressure than he normally is, just because he knows that secondary is just playing with not a lot of confidence right now. And on that play, it worked.
Westerkamp and Turner back to receive.
Gotta watch the kick here.
Again, low kick in that rugby style. They're gonna fake it. High, he dropped it. Flag, oh my, let's see what the call is. This is a huge penalty call. Aaron Williams had the coverage. It went through the hands of Lance Shuffert. It would have been good for the first down. The throw was there. Are they going to wave it off?
Illegal formation. More than 4 men in the backfield on the kicking team. The foul is declined. The result of the play is first down, Nebraska.
Well, Coach Monken certainly letting it rip. Wouldn't have mattered if he made the catch or not. But that's a roll of the dice with a lot of time to play.
Well, and especially when you've had some momentum, you're in this game, you certainly know you see the illegal formation 4 in the backfield. Looks like that was 7, should have been up on the line of scrimmage. A little bit, I like the aggressiveness. I know, I understand you're an underdog coming here, let's try to shock the world, but with the way things were going for Southern Miss, not sure I would have called that fake.
Now, of course, if everything was lined up properly and he makes the grab, we're calling him a riverboat gambler.
Of course.
Patting him on the back, but the way his defense had been playing the last few drives, now you're asking an awful lot of them. Off the play fake. Westerkamp goes back to get it and makes the grab.
And what a confidence-inducing play by your quarterback Armstrong to his #1 guy, Westerkamp. Gets outside the pocket. Nice, crisp pass to his go-to guy. Start moving the ball back down the field.
17-yard pickup. First and 10 from the Southern Miss 22. High snap, they get it to Newby. He has an alley down to the 15. Kalen Reed with the tackle, 7-yard gain for Newby.
And this is where that Nebraska offensive line needs to get mean, needs to get nasty, push those guys around a little bit. That's the way they do it around here in Nebraska.
Janovich, the fullback. And he gets it. This time they're ready for him. But he bounces off! Janovich! Oh my! What an afternoon! But there's a flag down. There is a flag on the play.
Is Jerome Bettis out there? Janovich.
Holding. Offense, number 82. 10-yard penalty. Second down.
On the perimeter, Alonzo Moore gets called for the hold, wiping off the touchdown for Andy Janovich.
Yeah, he gets stuck in the hole by Tarek Wright, but keeps the legs churning, spinning, chucking, jiving, rolling into the end zone. Unfortunately, it's coming back, but Janovich is really showing something today.
And clearly you saw there a pretty blatant hold by Moore. Would not have stopped the first down, but it definitely helped the touchdown. So now 2nd and 4 from the 16. They go to the gun with Newby to the right. Quarterback design run, and look at this. Right down 9th Street for the touchdown. 16 yards. And they're breathing a little bit easier now in Nebraska.
And this is something we really haven't seen all game today, but it was set up. Spread the field out, the design run all the way, lots of green grass for Armstrong, and that's what he does best. Make plays at critical times.
So Brown now on for another extra point. And it's good. So late flag on the extra point. Things getting touchy here in this back and forth affair. But it was well after the kick, so it will remain 36-21. Coach Todd Monken rolled the dice on the fake punt, and it came up snake eyes.
Well, you said it, Amy. Look, if they complete that play, we talk about what a great coach he is, and he's a riverboat gambler, all those things. But man, that's the way your defense is playing, that's tough.
PAT. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct. Kicking team. Number 94. Also, unsportsmanlike conduct. Defense, number 94. That's the first unsportsmanlike conduct foul on each player. The fouls will cancel. The kickoff will take place from the 35.
So with 9:30 left to play, you can't consider it the knockout punch, but it was exactly what Nebraska needed, as Southern Miss wasn't ready for Tommy Armstrong Jr. on the quarterback run. Tommy Armstrong Jr., fresh off the touchdown run, making it a 15-point ball game once again here in Lincoln, Nebraska. But still plenty of time left. They go 39 yards in 4 plays after the failed fake punt by the Golden Eagles.
That's what we talked about. Armstrong, game's critical moments. Momentum's gone to the other side. Your big-time leader, your quarterback's got to put the team on his shoulders, and he did on that drive.
This will be a touchback as Michael watches it sail over his head. But win or lose, one thing we can say about Southern Miss here today, they're giving us an entertaining fourth quarter.
Well, they certainly are. This quarter got started off with a TD catch by Casey Martin. He's been the go-to guy for Nick Mullins, making some great catches all day. Then the onside kick fools everyone in the stadium. They get the ball back, and then it's more of Casey Martin with his second touchdown catch, putting Southern Miss within striking distance here, and things are in their favor, in their momentum. And then the fake punt, which I know we're sitting here, we can question that thing all day. If they make it, okay, but man, your defense is playing well, your offense is playing well, you got the momentum. That's a questionable call, certainly.
Now let's see if they're able to regroup. Once again, down by 2 scores. They pump, looking to set up the screen to Ito Smith. He's got one man to beat. And he does. He gets by Gary for the first down. Another nice move, still on his feet. Now he's trying to set up the convoy. No flags into Nebraska territory. What an individual effort by Ito Smith. "39 yards.
Nice job cutting back across the grain. Doesn't give up, does Ito Smith. Across the grain, trying to get some momentum, trying to get some juice back into this offense and into this team. And that'll certainly do it right there. Southern Miss wants to now get back up on the line of scrimmage.
Great effort by Byerson Cockrell as well to track him down, or else that one would have gone for 6. Now Mullins with time. Looking deep. Lots of contact, overshoots his man, DJ Thompson. Chris Jones with the coverage. And again, they're going to keep taking shots at this secondary.
Yeah, especially Chris Jones, Joshua Kalu. Both those guys have, had some iffy moments here today. And Nick Mullins certainly is not going to take the pressure off until this clock is all zeros.
Richard in the backfield, but the running game has been a non-factor for Southern Miss all day. 4 wide receivers. Pressure up the middle. Richard out of the backfield, down to the 12. Gary bumps him out of bounds. But the wheel route was there for the Golden Eagles.
And this is where a freshman linebacker in Dedrick Young doesn't know they're trying to pick him. They're trying to rub the run route. He doesn't get over the top of it, and that's what enables Southern Miss to come up with the flatten up there.
25 yards down to the Nebraska 11. Another flag going up against Southern Miss.
False start. Offense, not all 11 players were set at any given time. 5-yard penalty, first down.
So they weren't ready for their own tempo. That'll back it up to the 16. What a day for the junior out of Hoover, Alabama. 400 yards passing. 2 touchdowns.
And most importantly, no interceptions, Eamon. That's the big number.
Another flag. Martin's going to catch a touchdown, but it's probably not going to matter.
And it looked like Martin before, he turned upfield before the ball was snapped. And that's what I think the penalty is going to be. As he came in motion, he started to turn upfield.
Coach Munkins.
Illegal motion. Number 83 offense was moving forward at the snap. 5-yard penalty, first down.
And you'll see as he comes across in motion, you cannot start to head upfield until after the snap, and he starts to creep up toward that line of scrimmage, and that's why they called it.
So they were at the 11. It's now 1st and 20 from the 21. Of course, they had 3rd and 20 when they hooked up with Martin for a touchdown. He's in the slot to the left. Smith in the backfield, looking to set up the screen to Smith. This time Nebraska's ready for it. Chris Weber with the tackle.
Nice job by Weber fighting off that block, coming underneath and making the tackle.
So we'll give him a yard. 2nd and 19. They do not have to score a touchdown. They can get to the 1 and set up a first down. Play fake to Richard. Into the end zone. Dropped. Gary coming over, but that was in the hands of Thomas. Or did Rose get a hand on it?
Jonathan Rose undercut the route, came underneath. He may have gotten a hand on it. He's in pretty good position as this ball came.
They need 19 on 3rd down. Two backs in the backfield with Mullins, Smith and Richard.
Martin in the slot.
Looking for Smith out of the backfield. He had to go down and get it, or else he could have ran after the catch. But it'll be 4th and about 11 now. Richard with the grab.
And again, Eamon, the linebackers in the secondary allowing inside cutting routes. It's easier throws for the quarterback down this area of the field. Force everything to the outside.
Southern Miss has called their 3rd and final timeout of the half. This will be a 30-second team timeout.
So Southern Miss takes a timeout on 4th and 13. And the action continues with a critical doubleheader tonight. First at 7, it's college football presented by Hilton. When number 14, Texas A&M, looks to stay hot against SEC foe Arkansas. Then at 10:30, number 19, USC, looks to get back on track in a conference road test with Arizona State. Tonight on ESPN and streaming live on Watch ESPN. Be interesting to see how the Trojans bounce back. Thinks there's some pressure on Steve Sarkisian right about now in Los Angeles. Right now, though, here in Lincoln, pressure on the Southern Miss offense to come up with a first down. 36-21 with 7:06 left to play. Rocky, is there enough time to think about a field goal?
I think there is. I mean, you certainly want to try to come with this point. I don't think they'll go out there with the field goal team, but
that would still make it a 2-touchdown
15.
game, but it would eliminate the need for a 2-point conversion. But if you try a fake punt, an onside kick,
I was going to say, he's been rolling the dice all game coming in here. Try to go for it, try to find Martin, try to find Mike Thomas.
Confusion on the alignment. They're out of timeouts. Now Mullins straightened everything out. Plenty of time on the play clock. Martin in motion. Mullins looking for Martin, well covered and intercepted. Josh Kalu makes a play. Late flag. That'll be after the interception, a celebration penalty. It appears. It appears it was the flag was after the play.
Yeah, but are they talking, was there an infraction before the spike?
Mullins is doing some lobbying.
There are 2 fouls on the play. During the play, pass interference, defense number 10.
Wow.
By rule, the ball being placed at this 2-yard line is an automatic first down. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, defense number 10 for spiking the ball. Half the distance to the goal, first down Southern Miss. That is number 10's first unsportsmanlike conduct foul of the game.
The double whammy on Josh Kalu after 89,000 people thought he made a game-saving interception.
And they did a good job of forcing the ball to the outside part of the field. I don't know if we can see in the replay the contact. Maybe just a little push off there allowed him to get the interception. And I think a nice acting job there by Casey Martin a little bit as well.
That's a late flag on the interference. Southern Miss will take it. Wow, what a huge call.
That was pretty ticky-tacky.
That is a game-changing call. First and goal from the 1, Richard, touchdown. Wow. So they'll go for the 1 now, and then the 2-pointer if they need it later to tie it up, which obviously they'll go for no matter how much time is left. But what an amazing turn of events here in Lincoln. Almost everyone in the stadium thought Kalu had an interception.
Again, they called the interference, but man, that's pretty, it's a tough call.
Well, don't throw the dirt on the Golden Eagles just yet. They get a reprieve courtesy of the flag. Everyone in red not happy with the call. But there's Kalu with contact. Wow. We have ourselves a ball game once again in Memorial Stadium. So Nick Mullins brings his team that much closer. 36-28, a one-possession game. Coach Monken talking things over when they get the ball back, but 7 plays, 75 yards. Richard with the short run, but a huge penalty called against Nebraska. We'll take another look after the kickoff, but the Cornhuskers are ready for an onside kick. Westerkamp all by himself at the 20. 9 guys up on the line. I would think with 6:55 left. Now again, they're out of timeouts, but I would think you would kick this one away. But Southern Miss has scored 21 points in the last 6 minutes and 39 seconds. They go for the squib, and Westerkamp picks it up and goes down at the 29. But Rocky, let's go back to a critical flag that has the fans here restless all of a sudden in Lincoln.
Well, and Casey Martin has had some big plays today, 6 receptions and 2 touchdowns, but his biggest play might have been the acting job he did on this play. To me, not near enough contact, but Martin flops back, and I think that's what caused the late flag by the ref.
So you're looking for an embellishment call. So
yeah, you know, hey, that's part of it. You got to influence the refs at times. You see it happen in basketball all the time, taking a charge.
The question is, did he spike it because he saw the flag, or did he spike it because he thought he ended the game? But a rough turn of events there for Mr. Kalu.
Yeah, that wasn't near enough contact for me to throw that penalty flag.
So now Tommy Armstrong Jr. has passed Zach Taylor for 3rd place on the total offense list, but that means nothing right now as he adds on to that total. Another hurdle. And then pushed out of bounds, and that's going to be a late hit. They're going to tack on 15. Nothing yet. Wow. Brian Anderson dragged him out of bounds, and it looked like threw him to the ground well out of bounds. 16 yards on the run, but no flag at the end.
And Armstrong picks up a nice block by his tailback, Newby. Cuts the cornerback out in space. Armstrong with the hurdle, but it looks like he got tossed out of bounds. You see that play get called more times than not.
Especially with the quarterback.
Yeah.
I guess they decided it was the momentum dragging both players down equally, but good luck selling that to Janovich. Bouncing off players again.
I'll tell you what, he's got to be secure with that football.
Yeah.
That thing had a little bit too much air under his arm for me at this stage of the game.
Michael Smith with the tackle. So now it's 2nd and 8. Now again, Southern Miss out of timeouts. Not really a factor right now on defense, but under 6 to play. They swing it out to Allen, excuse me, the tight end Seethan Carter. But good coverage by Elijah Parker sets up 3rd and long. All right, Mike Riley and Danny Langsdorff, what do you call up here on 3rd and 9?
Well, I mean, you got to find something Jordan Westerkamp. Yeah, that's where the rapport is. If you want to try something down the field, you have Riley. Now, what is this?
Well, it's a hurt player. I mean, Denarius Antoine's been hurt all game. It looks like 12 and white. Actually, it's Picasso Nelson, 13.
He went down pretty late. I think,
well,
Nebraska fans are wondering, is he taking a dive here?
That's what Nebraska fans are wondering, if he's stopping the clock. I think he's grabbing his hamstring there. I think he's cramping up.
Yeah.
I mean, stopping the clock on 3rd and long with 5:27 isn't really going to accomplish that much. It's not like Nebraska's going NASCAR crazy hurry up here.
But you could make a case where, look, if the defensive coordinator, Dave Dugan, wants to get his best defense call here, maybe they want to think about it.
I understand. I tend to believe in humanity, Rocky, and think that, unfortunately, the poor man is hurt. But the way the flags and the whistles have not gone Nebraska's way in the last few minutes, the fans are a little anxious and think he was just trying to stop the clock. And right now, the way they're banged up in that secondary, they don't want Picasso Nelson coming off the field.
They've been banged up pretty much all day, and they've done a heck of a job in spite of that.
And coming in again, remember playing without DeShadrick Truly, who did not make the trip.
Anthony Swain, their linebacker, yeah.
So now, 3rd and 9. Before I was interrupted by the injury, Rocky, what are you calling here?
I don't know. I still like getting Armstrong outside the pocket. That seems to be when he's thrown his best footballs today, gets that clear vision. He's usually looked in the direction of his #1 receiver, Jordan Westerkamp.
I just fired you as my offense coordinator when you started your answer with, I don't know. 3rd and 9 from the Nebraska 47. Tight formation with stacked receivers to the left. Off his back foot, flag on the play. Complete for a 1st down by Jamal Turner, but there is a flag. Golden Eagle defensive lineman pointing towards Nebraska.
Holding offense, number 68. 10-yard penalty, 3rd down.
The penalty bugaboo that struck Southern Miss is contagious.
And 93 yards of penalties. They had 12 last week, today 11. It's the same old situation here for Nebraska.
And no doubt, Gates certainly dragged Poole down to the ground. So now it's 3rd and 19. Under 5 minutes to play. How conservative is Mike Riley here? None at all. Armstrong looking for the home run ball, has Riley wide open, and he goes down and makes the grab. What a play by Armstrong to keep that one alive and find Riley all the way down the field. On 3rd and 19, they hold on to the ball with a 41-yard pickup.
And that's what I was saying. That's when Armstrong has been his best. When he gets outside the pocket, he can survey the whole field, allow those routes to develop, and then finds a big one down the field. Huge play. Another big play and a big moment for Tommy Armstrong.
And now you're in field goal range with Brown having a huge day. You really want to milk that clock against a team that has no timeouts left. Newby up the middle. A 4-yard pickup, but Southern Miss had him on 3rd and 19, and they couldn't get him off the field. But that's a tough play to defend when the quarterback can keep it alive like that.
Well, that's the thing. You can just extend the plays, and all of a sudden those defensive backs are covering for 3, 4, 5 seconds. That's tough for anybody, especially with this talented group of wide receivers that Nebraska has.
I am surprised they're coming out of the huddle with so much time on the play clock. Now they wait. Still snapping it with 9 seconds left. The reverse to Riley. Armstrong makes a key block. Riley inside. Wow, what a tackle. Trey Collins, no horse collar call. But it's a 10-yard gain.
Interesting play call. I agree with you. I don't know why he doesn't wait till that play clock has about 3 seconds on. He snapped it with 8. But this full Southern Miss's defense, a great block by Armstrong.
Now that's a high tackle, but definitely not a horse collar. Fans can not be happy about it because the whistles haven't gone their way, but that's just football.
Right, he didn't have the back of his jersey the way a horse collar tackle looks.
So now the clock running. Now they come out of the huddle with 5 on the play clock. There's a flag. So they probably weren't lined up properly, even though Westerkamp scoots into the end zone. Nice stiff arm on the outside. But did Westerkamp do what Martin did earlier and head upfield early?
Illegal shift, offense. 2 players were in motion at the same time. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Now you could make the case that them not getting a touchdown there actually helps, because now they get the opportunity to waste more time off the clock. I mean, certainly you want points at the end of the day, but maybe this one might be a beneficial thing for Nebraska.
So Nebraska now 12 penalties, 98 yards. A very busy afternoon for Tim O'Day and his crew. So that backs it up to the 13. First and goal from the 13. 2:57 left to play. Back to Newby. He can't find a hole. Dives forward for a gain of about 1. And now they can really just bleed this clock out.
Yeah. And go back to those timeouts that Southern Miss wasted. The one on the, I understand the one where you want to try to get your best play, it wound up working out for them, but then the one after.
The one on the kickoff.
The kickoff.
That's going to drive you crazy.
Yeah, that's going to drive you nuts.
It's probably not going to drive you as crazy as giving up a big play on 3rd and 19 when you're about to get the ball back. Or not lining up properly on a fake punt. High snap. Throwing with the pump. Westerkamp makes the grab, stays in bounds. Very surprised they're looking to throw the ball. I'm not going to lie to you.
A little bit, but.
And now this one definitely. Picasso.
You know,
Picasso was an artist, not an actor, but again, it's the same guy. And you know cramps.
That's what I was saying earlier. Again,
well,
you never want to project that kind of thing. Is young man maybe cramping again? I get that, but Nebraska fans certainly don't think that way.
Well, if he is faking, he gets an A on the first one. This one, not so much. But again, you hate to play doctor up here.
Yeah, you know, if he's having cramp, those things can come back. You know, you get them loosened up, you get some water in you, and then they can come back. But Nebraska fans don't want to hear that right now.
Westerkamp has a career day, 11 receptions, 118 yards, and a touchdown. So now they start the clock again.
Nice job on the Picasso artist thing, by the way. That was good. I'll tell you what.
It's only been sitting out there on the tee all day, Rocky. I mean, come on,
I can't believe it took you this long.
I mean, Now they keep it on the ground safely with Newby, and he goes down. So they're not looking to score here. Middle of the field, setting up a field goal if they have to. 4th and 8 here, so they'll look to put this one out of reach and add to the career day of one Drew Brown. He delivered 5 field goals, including a 50-yarder in the first half to end the first half. This one from 24. No good. They got a piece. So the door is slightly ajar for Southern Miss.
And I think it was Elijah Parker that came through the linebacker and got a hand on it. Sticks a left hand out.
Yep. So out of timeouts, 80 yards and a 2-point conversion away from overtime. Southern Miss has a life. Against the secondary that's been giving up the big plays all year long.
And how many times, I mean, Nebraska's been in this kind of situation literally every game this year.
Good. Martin makes the catch. 23 seconds left. They'll stop it momentarily to set the chains. Now they're ready to go. 19-yard gain. Down the seam for Martin, who makes the grab. Goes down right away at the 40. 15 seconds left. They are in Hail Mary range and then some.
Oh, boy.
From the 40 after a 21-yard gain. That should do it. Mullins dropped. Freedom, Akinmoladun. 3 seconds left.
That's it.
That's it. They're not back in time. What a way to end it.
That's the end of the ball game.
The veteran, held on to it too long. And Nebraska hangs on and wins it at home 36-28. It's going to be a lot of what-ifs on the way back to Mississippi.
It certainly is, especially on that last play there. Nick Mullins played great all game. He's got to know to get that ball out of his hand and give his team one more chance for the Hail Mary play.
After 2 losses on the final play of the game, Nebraska holds on to one. They're now 2-2.
It just holds on a little bit too long, and 91 off the edge, keeps fighting, gets to the quarterback. Not enough time for another snap.
So the door was open for Mullins and Southern Miss to pull off a miracle in Lincoln. But Freedom, Akinmoladun shuts that door with authority, and Mike Riley's club improves to 2-2 before Big Ten play. They win it 36-28. What an entertaining 4th quarter here in Lincoln. Once again, our final score, Nebraska 36, Southern Mississippi 28. For Rocky Boyman and our entire crew, I'm Eamon McEnany. Now let's send you to ESPN Goal Line for all the latest with the latest college football news, scores, and highlights. But the Cornhuskers can breathe a sigh of relief. So long from Lincoln.